Well, it's another episode of Realities May Vary. Hosts may vary, as always. I'm Brian Noonan. He's Craig Collins. Cody Gough is off tonight. He is doing a lot of things this week, which we will, I'm sure, learn about next week. Craig is already drinking. Looks like out of a, what is it, tin cup?
It's Winking Owl. And it's out of a glass
some Aldi
cup.
wine. Some nice high-end Aldi wine.
Yes, $2.75.
You got to like that.
It's fancy as wine when it has a twist-off cap and not a cork.
You know, that used to be the case. That used to be an indicator. It is no longer an indicator of quality.
No.
Now, a lot of high-end wines now have twist-offs.
I didn't know that.
Well, see, you learn something new every day when you're hanging out with me. That's the way it goes.
Delicious.
It's very good. I am tonight. I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to a nice beer in a tall Pilsner glass.
Oh, nice.
This is from New Glarus Brewery, which is I'm actually not supposed to be drinking this because you're not supposed to have it outside of Wisconsin. But
what? That's not a thing.
It is.
You just said can't possibly be.
It is only sold. It is only sold in Wisconsin.
Why wouldn't they want to sell it more places?
They're small. They don't have.
Yeah, no, it's okay. All right, you threw a rule out like people would get mad.
It's a rule. Well, it's bootlegging. Right. You're not, so they don't sell it outside. So it's like back in the day when I had to go to west of the Mississippi to get Coors.
Right.
So this way now I'm
way back in the day.
I'm drinking Two Women is the name of this beer.
Oh, okay.
2 Women. So tonight I said to Deb, I'm going upstairs with 2 women. She cared not. It could have been real. It could have really been 2 women. She couldn't have cared any more than if I was going up with a beer.
That is fantastic.
We've got a lot to cover because you've been a busy man. But Sunday was Father's Day, and people are always wondering if I get what I always ask for, which is a piece of quiet. Nope, my streak remains intact. Did not get a piece of quiet. I will say this though, before I get into any trouble, I had a lovely Father's Day. Molly was here. She stayed here Saturday night because she'd been at a party. So we were watching Walter, which it's becoming more of a thing that now that Molly lives here, every weekend she's got plans. And so every weekend Walter comes to stay with us. One day we'll have plans. And then Walter, we'll have to find somewhere else.
He'll be on the outs.
Yeah, he's out. But she was here, so she made breakfast. She whipped up some nice breakfast burritos. They were quite tasty.
Cool.
They had a nice gift for me, an SIU sweatshirt.
Sure.
Which was terrific because I had said all my sweatshirts are either Mardi Gras or Tulane. I needed something else. So I got that. And then they got me.
You went to SIU, by the way?
I did go to SIU. No, I just picked the Salukis out of thin air. They're my adopted college. That's what I decided. A lot of guys would think, Noonan, Irish Catholic kid from Chicago, maybe Notre Dame. That's going to be his team. That's going to be the one. No, I decided no. I was going to pick. So yes, I did go to Southern. And then they got me the most aggravating game that I spent 2.5 hours trying to master in the humidity the other day. Have you ever played Horseshoes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is not Horseshoes, but it's horseshoe-like. So, but it's a rope ring about the size of a bagel, and it's got a little wood knob on it.
All right.
And you're supposed to throw it and put it over a stick. So it came with a little base. And
I've seen this game before. I don't know what it's called, and I've never played, but I've witnessed it.
It's very difficult. I'm really good.
Why don't you just play bags like a normal Midwest person?
Well, I do have a set of bags, and I play bags very well. This was a gift. It was SIU branded. It's like from a company that does all these colleges for tailgate stuff.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right, well, let's go out and play. This will be fun. Oh my God. Molly, I will say, Molly got like 4 on the ring. Debbie got 1 on the ring. Okay. I got, and again, 2.5 hours we were out there. I got none on the ring. None. Nothing.
That's impressive.
And I also didn't lose my temper, which was impressive. I had a leaner. That was the coolest part for me. I had a leaner that laid up on the pole, but I never could get one over. And I tried frisbeeing it, and I tried throwing it like a beanbag. Oh my God, it's horrifying. So they were very nice, but it turned into quite an aggravation for Father.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it was a mean gift that they intentionally gave you to hurt your feelings, to make you frustrated.
That's how I took it. Yeah, that's exactly how I took it. Then we went out to this place. Debbie said, "We're going out to dinner." I said, "Okay." We're going to Chef Shangri-La, which is a place near us that makes the strongest tiki drinks on the face of the planet.
And that sounds again, I'm not. Can't anyone make a strong tiki drink? What do you mean that they make the strongest tiki drinks?
Well, I've had tiki drinks in a lot of places.
Okay.
And like I make a strong one if I make them at home because I'm heavy-handed and
sure.
I might have an issue. But I also a lot of times you go out and mostly what you're tasting is the sweet juices. A lot of citrus. You can't really, and that's why people think they're dangerous because you can't tell there's rum in them.
Gotcha.
This place makes strong drinks for men who want to get drunk fast. It's just like out of It's a Wonderful Life. And I don't care if I'm a pixie. I always order something. Their whole thing is tropical. It's a kitschy, 50s looking Chinese restaurant. It's unbelievable.
I think today's world, men are allowed to have any fancy fruity drink I think it's totally fine.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Yes. I agree. If I want to have a pina colada while I'm caught in the rain, while I'm doing my yoga, I have a brain. I can do that.
Just keep going. I got to Google the song.
I'm going to do the whole Rupert Holmes catalog. I'm moving to answering machine after this. It's going to be fun. Well, they've been doing carry out. So like we haven't been there in a couple of years because I can't really, you go there and you need a designated driver because even one is, so we all go and we all order a drink and I order their Mai Tai, which is unbelievable. They bring it to, have you ever gotten Chinese food, Craig?
Yes.
All right. If you order soup, a large soup, it comes in that big plastic thing.
I am aware.
All right. That's what they were serving their drinks in. And I'm not exaggerating.
Wow.
Because they had started during the pandemic selling drinks to go. So they would just fill this with a drink and then pop the lid on it like they were delivering soup. So these drinks come to the table and I'm like, oh my God. And Debbie, I think got a zombie and Molly got an island breeze and theirs tasted very nice. Oh, very Mine tasted like gasoline, but delicious gasoline. It was the strongest to the point where they were all done with their drinks and dinner. And I still had some drink left, which is unheard of for me.
Wow.
But I said to myself, you can't puss out on Father. You got to finish his drink.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I've never left a fallen soldier.
I don't, and it drives me crazy. Molly does that sometimes. We'll be somewhere, she'll order something, and she leaves it like half full, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" But then I look like a degenerate going back to the table after they get up to leave, and I scurry back and slam it. And then
I do it. I do it with Betty's drinks. Betty also tries to leave fallen soldiers, and I clean them up.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
Dog boarding 30 to 40 per night. Oh, thanks, Mike. That's actually not a bad price, Mike. You're right in line with the pet hotel at PetSmart.
Out of context, you had no idea what he was talking about for a second.
No, for a second I was focused on drinking. What's the name of this glorious place, Mike? It is Chef Shangri-La. It is in North Riverside. The corner of Des Plaines and 26th, if you want to go. And I'm not getting paid by them. But
there you go.
All right. So before we move on to all your stories. And I know you have one hot take that I can't wait to get to.
All right.
But what would you say a really strong Mai Tai in a large soup container would go for? This is one of the reasons I love this place. What do you think? What do you think that would run you?
I don't think that places charge for the really strong. I think that's just the heavy-handed pour. I'm not going to factor that into the pricing.
Okay.
But the large soup container throws me a bit.
Yeah, you got to take that into
I do have to. Let's say $17.
You would be high.
Oh man, really? How high?
Mine was $14 and Debbie and Molly's were $13.
That's awesome.
I know. I was like, because when they came to the table, like they used to be 10 or 11 bucks. But again, that was a couple years ago. And they came to the table and we were all tired. I go, they're probably going to be about 20 bucks for being this gigantic. And I wouldn't be mad at that because one is enough,
Yes.
So I wouldn't have been mad. And then the bill came and Debbie was trying to be coy. She was going to pay because it was Father's Day until the waitress who took the card from Debbie brought it back and gave it to me because I'm the man and the man has to pay. So
that is mine.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So that was Father's Day. I hope everybody had a good Father's Day if you were celebrating. I know you were on the road. Yes. I don't know where you want to start with your tales. Since last we spoke, you have had many adventures.
I have. So I think I've talked a little bit on my radio show. I can't remember if I've talked here or not about my Aunt Fidelia. It's my wife's aunt. She is she's dying of cancer. There's no easy way to talk about that part of it. She's not going to to make it. They've stopped treatment, all kinds of stuff. She lives in Mexico. She has a daughter in in Dallas, Texas. She couldn't travel for a quinceañera for this daughter of hers, so it's her granddaughter. And someone told Betty that her and I should go in support of, like, in the place of Fidelia.
Oh, okay.
This was on like Monday.
Representing the family.
Correct. This was on like Monday or Tuesday of last week. The party was on Saturday. Fidelia, lovely, wonderful woman, obviously rough time. She doesn't comprehend the distance between where we live in Illinois and where Dallas is. So when she said, like, Betty can go in my place and be there and represent me at my daughter's thing, and Betty turned to me and said, hey, we should do this on Monday of last week. It's Saturday. I was like, you can't say no. No one's going to say no to that. Of course we do that. Googled plane tickets. Very expensive week of plane tickets, Noonan. Have you ever pulled the trigger on week of?
Absolutely not.
They're terrible. The price is 2 to 3 times what it is. Yeah.
I mean, in general now, airline tickets are sky high, and airlines are canceling things left and right. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, but week of, they're terrible. And our Jeep is also awful. I actually have a story about our Jeep from today. It would not have made it. If I had tried to drive that 1996 lovely Jeep Cherokee that I personally like way too much, we would never have been all the way to Dallas. So we rent a car and we drove. We drove Friday night after my radio show at 6 o'clock.
Right.
We made it into town by like 1 or 2 because we slept in Little Rock. We did not want to do all 12 and a half hours of the drive there in one shot. And then we had lovely cheeseburgers, which I do have a hot take about.
Yes, we'll get to the cheeseburger story later.
In-N-Out and Whataburger. You told me on my social media page that I had to go to Whataburger, even though I was at In-N-Out, which I've heard is the best burger in the country on multiple lists all over the place. I'll get to it. But so then we made it there. We were there Saturday night to celebrate the quinceañera. Sunday morning, we got back in the car and we drove the 12 and a half hours back without a break to get back at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning here on Monday morning, Sunday night. So it was an exhausting but very valuable trip. It was very cool. I'd never met some of that family before. So going there and being a part of that was, and I got hammered.
Had you been to a
Saturday
quinceañera
night.
Before?
Not the full thing. I'd been to the second half of a quinceañera before.
Oh, I didn't know there was a halftime show.
There is, because we had other stuff we had to do. There's one day where I had my own family had a wedding that we were at, and then we went to her family's quinceañera. This is the first time I saw it from start to finish. And the dance portion in the middle, it was very entertaining to see like the traditional dancing things that they do with those.
Now,
there's a bunch of videos and stuff.
Is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen a lot of movies. Never been to a quinceañera, but is the dancing portion where they give the young lady the new shoes, like the grown-up shoes?
Correct. And she dances with several young gentlemen who are supposed to all be potential love options. You know, that's the symbolism of the quinceañera. Really? That's what it is. She's becoming a woman. That's what the quinceañera is, I think. She chose not to go that road, though. The person that we went to a party with just danced with her female friends. So it's her and like 6 other girls doing their own choreographed number. And the guys just had to wait till after they rung the bell that it's regular dance time. But it was a fun thing to be a part of. We showed up early enough to help them set up for it, so we really felt like we were part of the family.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and I met a lot of people that I'd never met before, as I said, so it was really cool. I got to keep pretending I speak Spanish until people realize I don't, which happens every time. You make it through like 6 sentences. I don't know enough. Betty is my teacher.
I know, but I'm saying, can't you learn it?
I'm better at math, is what I say. So I could learn it. I could do Duolingo and everything. I'm better with numbers, Noonan. Some people don't learn language easily. No, I'm not good at that. That's not my thing.
Listen,
and I talk for a living.
It's okay.
Well, I've tried. I've taken the entry-level class a couple times since I've been in a relationship with my wife, like when we were dating. I've just never passed Spanish 1. Never gotten past it.
Yeah, but that's different. Spanish that they're going to teach you in class isn't Spanish that you're going to be, you're hanging out at the bar at quinceañera with a bunch of dudes. You're going to be using different Spanish.
Yeah, I lived in Mexico for a portion of time, and I'm not going to get into more details than that. So I have enough to make it like 6 or 7 sentences when I meet somebody, but eventually there's a sentence I don't comprehend and I have no response to, and then I lose them.
There you go, no comprende?
Right, yeah. Okay.
Okay, what?
That's all I say.
See?
Yeah.
No, C-S-E-E. See? I know. C-S.
I did the math, by the way, because that's what I'm better at the end of the whole trip, and it was 25 hours of driving in 54 hours of time.
Yeah.
54 hours passed, and we were in a car on the road driving for 25 of them.
I mean, I've done that a lot over the last couple of years with driving down to New Orleans and unpacking and coming back. I used to be back in the day when I was on the road doing stand-up all the time, 12 and a half hours was nothing. I wouldn't even hesitate 12 and a half hours. I'd finish a show at midnight and I'm like, I'm out. And I'd start. Now it takes a lot more out of me.
Yeah.
But I could say, like, we're driving out to Colorado in August for a wedding, and it's 15 hours. And I think we're going to stop partway just so the first night we're there, we're not completely useless.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I actually, I talked about this on my radio show, and now I'm talking about it here, and Betty keeps correcting me. She drove a portion of the trip. I didn't drive every leg of it myself. Yes. Wow, she really wanted to.
Okay.
So I think she drove 2 of the 12 hours there and like 3.5 of the hours home.
Okay.
Yeah.
She really wanted to, and you let her?
Yeah, of course. I mean, come on. What are you saying? My brother does a trip to New Jersey from South Bend, Indiana every summer, and he does not allow his wife to drive, or that's probably the wrong way to say it, but it feels as though there's a fight that happens and Lars always wins that fight. That's my brother's name. I don't fight that. If the wife wants to drive, there's a car. Take it. I'll just lay in the back.
Unless I am unable physically to stay behind the wheel, I do not give up.
Why?
Because I hate the way Debbie drives. I hate the way everybody drives. I'm a horrible passenger. I would much rather drive myself and be exhausted than be frustrated.
So
because Debbie will drive right up somebody's ass and not pass.
Got it.
And it's like, you gotta pass. At some point, especially when you're on the interstate in rural Alabama.
Oh, you gotta pass.
You gotta pass, and you have to look ahead. And if you see there's trucks, you get to the left lane, you drop the hammer, you get past those trucks before you get to a construction zone.
You know, it's interesting you say that. I felt like this was a good test of my relationship. We've been married for quite a long time, but I was like, all right, 12 and a half hours in a car or 25 hours in a 50 whatever hour period, 54. That is a good test of a relationship. Betty and I had almost 0 fights. I would say over the entirety of the time, there was almost 0. There were 2 fights, one involving chewing gum. I'm a guy with a chewing problem. If you chew with your mouth open, it annoys me. And if I've been driving for a while, it annoys me more. So there was a moment where she was chewing some gum, and I tried to ignore it, Noonan. I tried to barrel in and be like, I'm not going to get mad. We're in a car together. And eventually I just asked her to spit the gum out, and she was a little upset with that. But that was the total of that fight. There wasn't any real interaction.
Okay.
I was like, can you please spit that out? And she was like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. Then there was the moment where I gave her the wheel the first time, Noonan, and she does drive different than me. Now,
of course she does.
She's had a lot of experience driving in like very tough conditions. Like Mexico, some roads are legitimately scary. There's areas of Mexico where you drive and you're like, one mistake and I fly off of a cliff and I fall like hundreds of feet down to the ground. Like, it's a legitimately higher stakes. So I think she drives for that reason in a different way than I drive. Like, I just lock in cruise control and I just go at that speed the entire time. And if I'm going faster than someone I'm approaching, left lane long before I get up to them, shoot past them. I might even hit the gas a little bit to drop the hammer, as you say, and then shift back and cruise control again. I most of my trip is on cruise control. She likes having a power element. She doesn't cruise that often. She goes different speeds. She goes up hills much slower than maybe most people do, and then speeds up on the way down. I just go one
So she just lets gravity? She allows gravity to drive the car?
Well, I actually asked her to explain to me why she slows down so much on bigger hills on highways. And she said in Mexico, there are those streets I'm talking about where like one mistake, you're off a cliff, you're dead. And people will stop at the top of the cliff sometimes and just sit there and you can't see them. So when you shoot over, that can cause horrible accidents. And I'm like, okay, I get all that. And actually it kind of happened. Some cops had pulled a guy over on the side of the road coming back, and they were just over a hill. So I didn't see them till like right after I got over and shifted to the other lane.
But they were on the shoulder, correct?
Correct. Yeah, there was no risk of an accident. It was just kind of like a demonstration of her point right after I got mad about it.
No, I understand her point 100%. I get it.
I don't do it.
But no, neither do I, because we are on the interstate system in the United States. I understand if there's a point that there might be a cliff, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'm not a lunatic.
Right.
But Debbie also will not use the cruise control.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Why?
And it makes me crazy.
Me too.
When it's a long road trip on the interstate, man, I'm all about the cruise control. Only because then I can shift my butt. I can move around a little bit. The car's going. And then, if I need to punch it to get around somebody or something like that, that's fine. But that's why God invented cruise control to use it.
We rented a 2021 Passat that I loved this car for some reason. It had video cameras on all.
More than your death trap Jeep?
I think so. If I could afford to buy a brand new one of these. It had video cameras on the front and back. So in cruise control, if you got too close to a car, it would slow you down and give an appropriate distance. So I didn't even have to do that. Like if I messed up somehow, it would slow me down and then I could shift into the lane and it would speed me up. It was so smart, that part of the vehicle. And I'm probably saying something that most people know exists, but I've had a 96 Jeep for all this time. So I didn't know about this till recently. And it was lovely. It was the best cruise control car ever. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I know. So easy to just be in cruise control the entire time.
Yeah. And
not her thing.
Debbie's car has cruise control. It's not like she doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
She just, I don't know. And then, and she sits very close to the wheel. Like she has
so does Betty.
arms.
Yeah. Yeah. Betty brings,
I watch her try to turn and it's like, stop.
Betty brings a pillow with her to sit on. So she'll put it under herself to sit up closer onto the wheel. She actually gets the leverage situation. And she's a shorter person. I'm not trying to be totally mean, but I think she's got a lot of coverage there. But it looks adorable. When I look at her driving on the highway, hunched over the wheel, like tiny Betty, I do find that adorable.
No, I like when you paint that picture. Betty sounds like she's 97, but she's not. She's not.
She does look it. Yeah. And actually, when she's going up a hill, she drives like she's 97. She slows down to like 45 on the highway.
Oh, that would drive me. See, I would lose my ever-loving mind.
I almost
get behind people like that and I'm screaming, "You're not pushing the goddamn car."
Yeah. But anyway, great trip. Lovely time.
Good. Now, who controls the music? Because this is when you mentioned this is a test of a relationship. It is.
Sure.
And when you're in the car for that long, there's got to be some give and take.
So there's a unique thing about me. I don't really care much about music. I'm a unique in that way. I'm actually unique for radio very much in that way, that I don't really know, appreciate, or care much about music. So 95% of the trip, Betty controls the music. I never complain. Part of it's like Spanish rock music, and I'm fine with that. But there was a 5% of the trip where I tried to throw some music out there. And she had landed on a song on one of like the mix playlists that we were playing off Amazon that reminded me of high school music I used to like. And I don't want to tell you what it is.
But you have to.
It was Blink 182. And I was like, all right, I have a, go ahead.
No, I said, of course it was.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I have a bunch of other punk rock music that I haven't heard in a long time, and you can look it up and we can just listen to it. 5 songs in, she's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't look these up. I can't listen to these. Craig, we have to stop. And I'm like, but these are my high school songs. High school Craig was so into this music. She's like, I can't. This is really bad punk rock. And she likes a lot of classic rock and good music. I think Betty has great musical taste. So they probably aren't good songs. But we made it like 5. I got like 5.
Well, that's why we leave in the middle of the night a lot. Mm-hmm. So the first 5 or 6 hours, Debbie's asleep and I can listen to whatever I want. Oh. So it's usually like, I'm listening to Stern or something. And she's actually started listening, like if she wakes up and he's in the middle of an interview, she likes that.
Howard Stern is a great interviewer right now.
Unbelievable. And the interviews last a long time. And if you haven't, this is us plugging somebody else. But yeah, the interviews are great.
Don't listen to us on the radio where we do stuff. Listen to Howard Stern.
No, the beauty is you can listen to his interviews, when we're not on the air.
That's true.
So you can listen to us, you listen to us live. That's the best way.
That sounds great.
And then do that. So, all right. So now you're going to, first of all, I see your post at an In-N-Out Burger and it says on our way to Dallas. And I'm thinking, he just bought a house.
Why am I in
Dallas?
Yeah. I closed.
Because I know you closed on your house that morning. It's like, this guy is going to be Texas Craig. What's going on?
Yeah.
And then I figured it was some sort of family thing.
It was.
Because you had talked about Betty flying home and maybe flying into Dallas one time. And I thought, maybe there's somebody's coming to visit you. So I knew it was a family thing. But The point was you were in Texas and you posted a picture of an In-N-Out burger.
So the family event we went to had some lovely food. It was all like very authentic. Yeah, very authentic tasting Mexican food. And there's a lot of other really great Mexican food in Texas, of course, and in Dallas. But I couldn't get over the idea that I had passed an In-N-Out burger, and I didn't know there were so many of those in Texas, actually. And I'd never been to one. I have never been to that restaurant. I've heard great things in California. I was in Anaheim for a few days and tried to go a couple times, and just it didn't work out because other things came up. But so I was like, Betty, we have to go. I would like to end my night at In-N-Out tonight. And we actually disappeared from the event for a little bit because it went late.
Okay.
Yeah, it went real late. And they eventually started like blowing up Betty's phone, like, where'd you guys go? We're still partying, come back. And she's like, Craig's at some stupid place called In-N-Out Burger, refusing to leave. I didn't think In-N-Out was that good. I'm going to be honest. I had an In-N-Out Burger. I don't think it's better than Five Guys. I think that Five Guys is a better hamburger than In-N-Out Burger. And I was really disappointed to figure that out or find that out. And I even got the animal style after getting the double because I read that the animal style was even better to some people. And it just...
Explain the animal style for the uninitiated.
The animal style is just like a crazier meat version of the... I can't even describe... I was somewhat hammered when I did this, but let me check. Because it's just essentially a burger. The animal style fries, I was told, are even more important. There's meat in the fries, and I did not get those. But the animal style burger is just a like crazier, meatier thing. What is it? Yeah. It's got a secret popular sauce that's a part of what makes it animal style. That's what I'm finding out. But it really wasn't like there was not a lot of obviousness to it being different than a regular hamburger. So
this is going to surprise a lot of people, including you. Mm-hmm. I agree with you 100%. We lived in California.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And we went to, you get out there and everybody's talking, In-N-Out Burger. And it's got a mystique because it's got this secret menu and everybody talks about it. And, the animal style, or what you get it with just on the lettuce and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't need to know secret menus. If your secret menu stuff's that good, put it on the regular menu. Now, that's not to say that In-N-Out Burger is not okay. But I'll be honest,
it's good.
If I may quote the Beastie Boys for a moment, I eat at White Castle because they're the best, but I go to Fat Burger when I'm way out west. Fat Burger for an LA institution trumps or beats In-N-Out Burger hands down in my book.
Okay.
I would go to Fat Burger if you had a gun to my head and said, before we execute you, you may have one of these two burgers. You can either go to Fat Burger and get a Fat Burger with cheese and a fried egg on top and some fat fries, because they have two kinds of fries, skinny fries and fat fries, which are basically just seasoned steak fries. Mm-hmm. Before I hear that and the blackness of death, I'm enjoying a Fat Burger. And
I've never had that.
All those In-N-Out Burger people can be good.
Look, I got to say something, though. I do think the burger is kind of like most people's feelings about pizza. Like, there's not really a bad burger.
Correct.
Most people don't screw it up to the point where I'm disappointed I just had a burger. I like cheeseburgers a lot, but there was nothing special about In-N-Out. Nothing about it hit me in a way that I was like, this is something that's never been tasted before by this human and like needs to be had more. I'm not going to miss it. I have no affinity attached to that brand whatsoever.
It's like I mentioned Coors in passing before. It's that kind of thing. You can't get it and you hear about it and it's like, oh my God, it's got to be the mecca of all things burgers. And I think people go there even when they live out there because
the reputation.
You have to.
Right.
Oh, you went somewhere else for a burger? What are you, nuts? There's an In-N-Out right over there. Yeah, but it's it's fine. Like you said, it's fine. It's not a bad burger.
No.
I agree. I think Five Guys is a better burger. But
there's a lovely episode. There's a lovely episode of How I Met Your Mother where they try to find the best burger in New York City, and every single character on that show has their best burger, and they're going from one spot to another. And I think the end result of the episode is no one can find it because all the burgers aren't as special as you remember them being. Because there are great burgers that exist though, but I don't know that anyone truly gets it to the level that sometimes we pretend. Some people, because even Whataburger, which I also had, and I've had before. I will tell you that I've had
before.
I was in San Antonio for a week. This was, before I was even in radio. I was in sales. I won a sales competition. They sent me to the Final Four, and I took my little brother. And the problem with Whataburger, Noonan, that you didn't know, is it was one of the bigger fights my brother and I had while we were in San Antonio together.
Oh, my goodness.
Because what happened was we went to San Antonio for the game. So we were staying like 2 or 3 days. And then American Airlines grounded a bunch of flights. They had some sort of like technical thing. We got stuck in San Antonio for a week. My brother and I together. It was supposed to be a 2-day trip. It turned into an 8-day trip. And I kept buying us food because I felt so bad that I had invited him on like this company thing I got. And the final day before we got our flight, we went to Whataburger and we're walking back to our hotel across this like bigger pasture area to get back. I think we even crossed a highway, and he just wasn't eating his Whataburger. I had purchased it for him. I think I was running low on money at the time because I kept buying out food for us.
Sure.
And he's just holding it. And I was like, you can eat that, brother? And he's like, I don't know, man. How many more days are we going to... Like, he just got so angry. And he eventually just threw the Whataburger, and it's somewhere on a roadway, I assume, still in San Antonio. And like, I got so mad when he did that.
Too.
Yeah. Because I was spending money on all the... That was my money I watched get launched over to the other side. So I had to take the negative element of the store out of my brain to accept your challenge of Whataburger. And I actually liked it better than In-N-Out. I also don't think it's special, though. I don't think Whataburger is special.
No, here's the thing. With Whataburger is a very regional thing. And it's for fast food burgers. What I like it, did you get it with green chilies on it?
No.
Well, that's right there. You made the crucial Whataburger error. What's the point of going to Whataburger if you're not going to get the Whataburger with cheese and green chilies? That's the way to go.
All right.
I should have told you that.
You should have told. I also got a chicken sandwich from the Whataburger just to see what a chicken sandwich would be like, because I do really like chicken sandwiches. It's okay.
I go Whataburger. I stick with. It's like going to a steakhouse and getting a salad. No, I'm getting a steak. If I go to Whataburger, I'm getting a burger.
Both. I bought one of each.
No, it's not one that like every day I sit at home and go, man, I wish I had a Whataburger. Yeah. But if I'm in the area, and I didn't realize there was one in driving through Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, wow.
Has a couple Whataburgers. And last time we drove down to New Orleans, I had it again. And I was like, yeah, as far as fast food burgers go, this is a pretty good fast food burger. The onion rings are good. It's not like, am I going to say that's the best burger I've ever had? No, but if I'm in Texas, if I have to pick between a fast food place, I'm going to go to Whataburger because I can only get it there.
I noticed that at least my Whataburger was not as greasy as the In-N-Out burger. It was cooked like a little bit differently, so it seemed like it was healthier. And I don't know why I thought that.
Than griddle top?
Sure. Yeah, whatever you just said. That's fine. I pretend that I understand those things. I don't cook anything Noonan ever. I think we've talked about this before.
And yet I saw a picture of you with a grill. What's is that? Do you just get takeout and pour it on the grill?
No, I do the charcoal grill. I do, but I only
hot dogs and lay them on there.
No,
look at this.
I mean, aren't all hot dogs pre-cooked? Kind of. I thought that was a thing. I thought that's why you could eat them right out of the bag. I thought they were already cooked once.
Well, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Anyway,
I can do.
I do grill. I actually grilled filet mignon. That's actually what I did with that grill.
Fancy.
I was. My grandfather used to grill filet mignon all the time. That's what my first meal on the first grill I've ever owned in the first house I've ever owned had to be my grandfather's filet mignon. So I tried. I don't think it came out like he made it, but I tried doing it.
Sounds good. You can't, unless you really overcook it.
Yeah.
You can't really ruin it.
No, I think I might have undercooked it, which is the way I like it. So that was very fun.
And it was fine.
And I didn't get sick. But no, man, I don't know. The trip was good. The food was good. Everything was fun. I had a good time. I wish that somebody made an amazing burger that lived up to the hype of these burgers that get out there. I don't even think Five Guys, I know a lot of people are fans in Midwest, is truly like a great burger. It's good. It's not truly incredible.
All right. So what makes a great burger then? Because Five Guys, I think, Five Guys uses good meat.
Sure.
I think their toppings are part of what makes it that, big a thing.
The best burger I've ever had in the Midwest was at Holiday Club, the Holiday Club bar. I love their cheese. I don't know why. It's a barbecue burger too, so they put barbecue sauce on it, and I love it. No, it's so good. It's so good. And even just a regular one, if you don't want to do barbecue sauce, I at least this was years ago. That was one of my favorite ones in all of the city. I don't think it's well publicized. I don't think people know that it's good, but I think it's good.
It's you made a good point before. It's hard to get a bad burger. Like there was this place in New Orleans that did them in a steamer. It was a bar that was open 24 hours, a little dump, but the cheeseburgers were unbelievable. Now, could it have been that I was eating them at 3 a.m. after being out on the parade route all day? Sure. But it was fantastic. Yeah. There's a burger I remember from when I was a little kid. And we used to drive every year out to Cape Cod for vacation because we couldn't afford to fly. And so we would drive. And it was somewhere in Pennsylvania. And we stopped and we had hamburgers, and there was something about it was so good, and there was a big piece of onion on it, and the onion was sliding. And it was just I couldn't tell you for any amount of money where this place was, but I remember that was a great burger.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there was a bar that's no longer there, not far from my house, that made unbelievable burgers, and the place was open till 2 or 3 a.m. So we would go after gigs, and you could get this big burger, and you could get it on pumpernickel bread. Oh my God, with Swiss cheese and grilled onions. Stop it! It was unbelievable.
I think
now I want a hamburger.
See, now you should. I think in today's world, the grilled chicken or the chicken sandwiches people are trying much harder with those. Those are the focus. The burger has taken a back seat to the chicken sandwich in 2021.
I've had. I agree the focus is on chicken sandwiches.
Yes, it is.
Much to my chagrin, because I do like the good chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I love it.
I know you like the Popeyes. The Burger King one's pretty good.
The tender crisp was always a favorite of mine.
And but yeah, there's nothing beats a burger. Nothing.
I don't know. A really good chicken sandwich right now feels to be better than the current version of burgers that are out there in the world. I think the chicken sandwiches are being done better currently. Really? Someone's got to come along and do a better burger. Yeah, the Popeyes chicken sandwich is better than all the burgers we just mentioned. Just a Popeyes right here in Peoria. I could go to it, get a chicken sandwich.
You'll get a fine chicken sandwich.
Better than In-N-Out, better than Whataburger, better than all of them.
I got to be in a mood. I'm always in the mood for a hamburger. Always.
I got to be in the
right. I got to be in the right mood for a chicken sandwich. I'm not arguing that they're not good. I'm with you 100%.
My little brother is getting in insane shape. I think I've talked about that before. He eats the same thing every day. He eats chicken with rice without any real seasoning on it. And he and I had this long conversation about how I think like our childhood was chicken all the time. I could eat a chicken sandwich every day, any moment of the day for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Chicken is an easy meal in any variety for me to consume all the time. I'll never get bored. I would never get bored with chicken every day, Noonan.
I think it's because I've eaten turkey sandwiches for the last 10 years, almost every day at lunch.
Gotcha.
So I like chicken. I make chicken a lot.
Yes.
I like a chicken sandwich. I'm not going to lie to you. I like I like all that, but I prefer a burger.
I think it's the only meat product that I could eat every day. I don't prefer a burger at all. Yeah. I think chicken is the only one that I get. Well, steak. Filet mignon, I could have every single day, Noonan. I would be
Prince of Tides or Prince of Peoria. You're gonna eat filet every day.
I would love that. Would be the best. My life would be so good if I could just have filet mignon every day.
Wow,
that would be the best.
Get yourself a giant beef tenderloin, cook it up, and then just whack at it. Every day. Take a big chunk off it.
Because I like it so much. While we were driving, every time we saw cows, Betty would be like, "Oh, look at all the filet mignons," and get sad, and I'd be like, "I can't. I don't want to look. I don't want to see them."
Okay. Listen, they're not. It's not like you walk up and hit them with a hammer yourself. You have other people do it. You're like a mob boss. You order the hit.
Yeah,
you have somebody else go out and take care of them. Then your hands are clean.
Did we talk about that here? I couldn't kill my own food. I couldn't do it. If I had to do it, I don't think I could do it.
If I had to do it?
Yeah. If I had to murder my own food, I feel like I wouldn't. Like, okay, let me paint a very specific picture, because I'm not just going to say if I wandered across, like say I'm starving and I wander across some area and finally find an animal that I could kill and eat. I think in that situation, I might be able to do it. But if I craft a relationship with the animal first, if I have any amount of time spent with this cow before the murder needs to take place, I don't think I can do it.
I'm bothered that you keep saying murder.
It's a murder. It's a living animal that's dead.
Well, you just
murdered
said,
it.
You just
somebody
said
murdered
you
it.
could eat chicken every day.
No, I because somebody else murdered it. I'm not mad about the murder. I just can't commit it. I'm not trying to be a woke millennial. I don't care about. No, I'm not. No, I can't. PETA
while you were down in Dallas?
No, I can't personally kill it. I couldn't do if
I wouldn't want to, but if I had to, if it was between my family and I starving, or me wrestling a deer to the ground and choking it out with a rear naked chokehold, guess what? Bambi's going down, man.
Okay,
There's no doubt about it.
If it was to save Betty's life, I might be able to murder a lot of things. I might be able to do that, but just me. And I'm saying that I got to craft a relationship first. I didn't show up hungry. The cow and I got a few hours to know each other, and then I found out I had to kill it. I couldn't do that.
Well, what kind of relationship can you forge in a couple hours? I have always thought it must be hard if you're like in 4-H, you know, and you raise a pig from the time it was a tiny piglet to the time it's a ham sandwich.
Right.
That's got to be tough. But people in agriculture will tell you that they're raised. This is it's part of the life cycle. Yeah. You know,
well, and
it's different for you and me because we do all our hunting at Jewel.
Correct. To answer Paul's question, by the way, it's the devil's jersey that he's wearing, so I'd have to take out Satan. That'd be a Satan cow and not a regular cow. So I'd just be doing God's work.
Yeah, I would have I'm not a hunter, but I don't begrudge people who hunt. And,
no. See again. We're changing the words that I said. I'm not mad.
You said you could not kill.
But I'm not mad at hunters. I'm not mad at any of that.
Nobody said you were.
I actually also used to produce the Charlie Potter show, the Great Outdoors with Charlie Potter. We talk about hunting all the time. He wanted me to go out with him, and I probably would do it. I just don't think. Okay, let me tell you this story. I used to work at a veterinarian hospital. I would do the groundskeeping there. I did a lot of the landscaping. That was my job at the vet hospital. This was over a few summers while I was in high school. And I was one of the only guys on the facility. So it was a bunch of women that worked with the vet. And so he would call me in from doing my yard work as a 16-year-old if they needed help with an animal. And inevitably, they'd be probably putting most of those animals to sleep. So every time I got called in, I would hold a dog and then they'd kill it. And it really was not a fun job. Like everything about being outside and doing yard work. Yeah, everything doing yard work was great. I would mulch all day. I'd feel great about it. I'd go to the pool after. It'd be fun.
Mulch all day.
That's the way I said it. But then as soon as they called me inside, they're like, "In this dog, it's not gonna make it." I didn't want the job anymore. I wanted to quit every time they did that.
Oh, I wouldn't want that job either. That would be
there
horrifying.
You go. Same thing. Killing a cow that I got to forge a relationship with first. If I had several hours with the cow, we're on a friendship term now. I can't murder you.
Was there a lot of deep discussion? Did you share your deepest wants and needs with this cow? What do you? Yeah.
I may have. Depends on where things went.
I think it was the scenario you set up. That you kind of made it an absolute where if there was you could never do.
Right.
But now we see that you're just a caring individual, and once you're friends with an animal, listen, it's not like I could take my dogs out if I,
Right.
But again, if worst comes to worst, and there's a zombie apocalypse, I'd probably keep them around. No, I'd keep them around because they'd scare off the zombies.
See, no, I don't know. I think I had a radio listener. I think we did talk about this on the radio. That sent me a message.
Sorry, do you have a radio show?
Anyway, I think I had a listener on the other
Speaking
thing.
Of that you can listen to Craig Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on WNBD.
It sent me a message that said, "You're not a real man if you can't kill your own food. You got to be able to kill your own food." And I was like, "I'm sorry, man. I guess I'm not. I guess I can turn the man card in today. I am not."
So wait, does this guy go out every day? He eats nothing from the store? He's never been to the Piggly Wiggly? Never been to the Pick and Save in Peoria? Yeah. Oh, never went to a restaurant?
Cindy said my shows are great on the radio where I do radio shows and then talk about things.
I didn't know you had a radio show. I'm glad you mentioned that.
I don't know. How else do you want me to describe it, Noonan, when I'm talking about something somewhere else that's out in the public space?
No, that's fine. You've just mentioned, I talked about this on the radio show about 7 times already.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
No,
it seems relevant to today's show. You know what else I talked about on my radio show?
On your radio show? What'd you talk about on your radio show?
The Ricky Gervais audio. Did you hear that?
I did not.
From today, I think it was from yesterday or a couple days ago. Ricky Gervais posted it himself on Twitter. It's him calling out people who get mad at other people on social media. People who go to fan pages and like ridicule people, or people that attack Ricky for his thoughts on social media. It's really great audio. I'm sure I could pull it and we could play it here on the show if you want to.
If you have it, sure.
Okay. Let me make sure that I don't play it in a way that's going to annoy people. But I think I can do this.
Before we do that, the big question last week was your house. Now, you mentioned quickly in passing that you closed.
Oh, right.
So everything went through? Because last time you talked about it, there were a million things that were going on. There were people involved. There were a lot of channels. There was back channel conversations and all sorts of things. So you are now officially the owner of that basement?
I am. There were some unfortunate things that happened for quite a while there. There was actually a day in which we sat in a room and we were told we were going to sign a document that meant the house was ours. So we were at our closing and the closing did not occur. We had to leave that room. Yeah, and I actually had taken an hour and a half. I had taken an hour and a half off of my radio show that I host where I do radio things.
Is that from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday on WMBD?
It is on WMBD in Peoria, Illinois.
It's 1470WMBD.com, isn't it?
Right. Yes, it is. Correct. All those things are accurate. So I took an hour and a half off and we played some best of things. And then I showed up.
I was going to say, what they just play? There's white noise. Craig's busy. He'll be back at 4 o'clock.
I built the best of, a best of myself, which was fun to build.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. And then I got there.
You just not play everything? Because that's what I do.
Yeah,
play best stuff. Yeah, just do yesterday's show. That was fantastic.
I actually just mentioned how often I host a radio show in my best of. That's all it was. Was me talking about that.
You know what? You got to stay at the forefront of people's minds.
You do.
You let them know. Don't leave them wondering.
No, right. Just because they got to the radio and found the show doesn't mean that they know that I host a radio show.
Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. We don't know what people are thinking. We gotta push it for them.
We do. But so my real estate agent is amazing. Her name is Carol Rapp. I think she did an incredible job of figuring out how to navigate every challenge that came up. But it took time. Navigating those challenges was not, immediate. Some of them took a little bit more time than you'd want it to. But yeah, I eventually closed on Friday morning. So early Friday morning, we closed on the house, and it is now officially ours. This is my basement. If I moved the camera more, there's a crap ton of things in this basement. And I guess I'd be a little embarrassed by it, but
that's what a basement's for when you're first moving in. That's where everything goes, the basement or the garage. So you can figure out, all right, now let's work on the kitchen. Let's work on the bedrooms. And then you whittle down the boxes that are everywhere else. Because if you had everything upstairs, you drive yourself crazy. I hate it. I hate having all that clutter when you first move in.
Most of the things that are supposed to be upstairs are upstairs at this point and have been upstairs. Like most of the crap still in the basement now is going to go in this basement. A lot of it's just my broadcast stuff. A lot of it's my studio equipment and things that are not totally set up yet. But yeah, Betty is going a little crazy on the middle floor dealing with all that. And I'm just down here not worrying about it.
Well, listen, everybody's got their responsibilities.
There
are areas of responsibility.
Yeah.
You've got to deal with your basement and getting that stuff going. And Betty's going to deal with what Betty wants to deal with. And she'll tell you what she needs your help with and what she wants you to get involved with.
Which is very little because I don't organize well. This is another excuse that I have.
I need to unpack as quickly as possible.
Really?
I can't be around
not me.
boxes and clutter. And no. It makes me, I get nuttier than I already am.
I got to call out Dalton Kemper. He is the traffic guy on my radio show that I host every Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 o'clock.
Hold on. This is news to me. Are you telling me that you host a radio show?
I do. Yeah. I've been hosting it for about a couple months now.
Dalton, is it Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. on WMBD?
Dalton can also be heard on my radio show. And by the way, I think probably
to listen to Craig and Dalton.
No. Yeah, sure. You can. By the way, the reason I'm probably talking about it so much is if you are watching us on the Craig Collins Show page, this is a first. We are broadcasting on that page, the Brian Noonan Show page, and our Realities May Vary, our brand new Facebook page.
We're not on that page yet.
Okay, we will be soon.
Because we can only have so many Facebook.
Gotcha.
So many Facebook.
It'll
channels.
happen
in
due
YouTube.
time.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. We're on, but we should tell people, Craig, since you brought it up. I was, which
Sure.
was good because I had forgotten to bring it up. But yeah, you got to follow Realities May Vary. Now we're branching out, friends.
We are.
We have our own Facebook page, Realities May Vary podcast. We're on Twitter now. I don't know what we're going to tweet. I don't know what we're going to put on the Facebook page. No
idea.
The podcast is already out there on all those podcast platforms.
Yes, it is.
And people are listening to it, thankfully. So I don't know why I felt the need to put these other pages together other than it added a little legitimacy.
Yeah,
Plus, it was like if we get to a point where then we decide, okay, we just want to put it all on one page. We want to do the live recording and streaming on that page. And, maybe we'll tweet out something cancelable. And we all have, we're all in charge of the account. So, if you see anything really horrible, blame Craig first. And
no, Cody. Then it would be Cody first.
Oh, yeah, blame Cody first because he's going to troll everybody.
No, I doubt, just to be candid here, both for our audience, and I doubt I'll be doing much of the tweeting or Facebooking. I don't think that I'll be doing a lot of it myself. I'll be reacting to it and loving it. I don't think I'll be doing it because I have a radio show. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know. I have heard that.
Okay. By the way, anybody who's following this for the first time, who's bouncing onto this like Dalton or Paul, who listens to my show, I've been doing the Realities May Vary for how long now, Noonan? I think I've been a part of it for about a year with you now. Yeah, because you came on when Cody went on paternity leave. Yeah.
And his baby was born in August. So, yeah, it's almost been a year, 10 months probably.
Yeah,
10 months
there we go.
Been here. And you've only wanted to quit for 10 months. So that's been, it's good that we cajoled you into sticking around. Hey, listen, I'm going to jump in the radio show bandwagon.
There you go.
There you go.
You have one?
I'm on Thursday night on WTMJ, so you can listen to me there, WTMJ.com.
All
and
right.
again, if you're new to the broadcast, by all means, Craig has a radio show.
I also
we're very proud of Craig. He's going to be on Thursday too.
Yeah.
But I go on after him. So you can listen to his show on WMBD.com. And then at 6:00, flip over to WTMJ.com and you get to hear us do our radio shows.
That's the best way to do it. And then actually on July 2nd, I will be in for Chad Benson. I will be doing the Chad Benson show. Yes.
That's a Friday. That's the Friday before the big weekend.
It is.
That's a week from Friday on my calendar.
I have the audio Ricky Gervais. Do you want to hear this?
Sure. Why not?
I think this is really good. And tell me if you can't hear it, by the way, because maybe it's just going to be played for me. But he tweeted a response to people talking about, trolls on social media. And it is recent stand-up, I believe he did. And I think it's brilliant.
People take everything personally. I think the world revolves around them, right? Particularly on Twitter, right? I'm not tweeting anyone. I'm just tweeting, okay? I don't know who's following me. I've got 12 million followers. I don't know who's following me. They can be following me without me knowing, right? Choose to read my tweet and then take that personally. That's like going into a town square, seeing a big notice board, and there's a notice, guitar lessons, and you go, but I don't want guitar lessons. What's this? All right, there's a number here. All right, call that, right? Are you giving me guitar lessons? Yeah. I don't want any. Fine, it's not for you then. Just walk away. Don't worry about it.
I think that idea is exceptional, Noonan. I think the idea that people go to certain pages to criticize celebrities, whoever, when these pages are designed to be fan pages, are completely missing the point of all of it. And some people might accuse you of saying, well, I only want people that like me in my own cone, so it's making me worse as a professional or worse as whatever. I disagree. I think that if someone comes to your, social media places and wants to give you constructive things, wants to help you be better at your job, you can weed those people out. But if someone just wants to be a troll and a jerk, that it's not valuable to hear from those people, and you should do things like ban them from whatever platform you're on and get rid of them as quickly as possible. And I think Ricky Gervais pointed out exactly correctly. It would be akin to seeing someone trying to do something out in the world that you have no interest in anyway and attacking and crapping on them just because. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I think that is a hilarious response to how a lot of us use social media now.
It's exactly right. Listen, I've deleted people off the show page and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, hey, guess what? It's my page. You don't like me. That's cool. Go away.
Right.
You don't like the show? Go away. I don't care. I want you to like the show, but if you don't,
yes,
okay. If you come in and say, hey, I love the show, but that I didn't care for that interview you did. Okay, I'll leave. That's fine. You have that. You have that right. Yeah. But you're not my boss. You don't get to come in and tell me, because we've all had those. You have a radio show. You know this. I used to have a radio show. I remember this.
You have radio shows.
I have radio shows. I'm kidding. But you know this. Everybody wants to be the program director. Everybody wants to be the boss.
Yes.
Hey, you're a listener, and we can't do it without listeners. We value listeners, but you're not the boss.
No.
And if you were right, you'd probably be running a radio station. And I'm still here, so I must be doing something right.
Right.
So, and if the boss had a problem with it, I'm not going to listen to him either, because that's why he's a boss.
Well, and just as importantly, in the real world, when we actually interact with each other face to face, none of us have the balls to be as shitty to each other as we are online. None of us have
that
it
for years.
Yeah,
and the text lines at radio stations are the same way.
Yeah.
Oh man, but
and so when we avoid keeping people on social media pages or anything like that who are there to be jerks, it's because I wouldn't stand there and let you yell at me in my face if you ever confronted me in public, telling me how crappy I am I wouldn't do it. I would leave. I would stop listening to you. I'd tell you, probably some choice things as well. And I would go this direction. It's so much different on social media to do it, I guess, for whatever reason, because people feel like I'm silencing someone. But
yes, come on, Craig. That's tyranny. You are squashing someone's free speech.
Right.
And that's ridiculous. One, because yes, you can say whatever you want. I can also choose not to listen to it.
Right.
I don't have to give you the form. You can still be on Twitter.
Sure.
If you want to shout out at me from your own page, that's cool. Guess what? I don't have to let you do it on my page.
Yeah. And I'm not going to go to your page.
Right. And you want to stand, you and your 3 followers, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. But I don't have to. I'm not giving you the form, because now you're a little tiny person who wants to take it. I know this sounds egomaniacal, but it might be. But you're trying to take a swipe at somebody to get attention for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you ever look at these people's profiles, nobody's paying attention to them, or they have a million pictures of cats.
It's funny. I don't know how to articulate this now. I was talking about this earlier, and my wife sent me a text message. She's like, Craig, did somebody come after you on your page? Like, why is this so an important issue for you today? And I'm like, no, nobody did anything to me today. But at the same time, like in the past, I have even somewhat recently had someone like send me a mean message. And as you just said, Noonan, you go and you look at it and it's got like 7 followers. And the photo's not even a real photo. And you're like, is this even a real account?
Yeah. And to be honest, we know, and Cindy brought this up in the chat, that people do it to get a response. And that's true. So guess what? I'm not going to give you that response. I never argue with trolls. I did a couple times back when text lines first came in and I was doing the overnights. If on a particular night, if I was really tired or in a really bad mood, I'd go, listen, you know where I'm at. You want to call me these names? You know where I'm at. You know what time I get off the air. I'm not hard to find.
No.
And,
Yeah. Hey, Paul, who follows me on social media, says his son makes 4 followers for the show. That is very true. The followership of the Craig Collins Show page, not that high, but Paul is doing his work. And his son is an adamant fan of the show.
I wasn't saying that you only had seven.
No, I know.
I was saying the critics usually do. The trolls are the one who, they come at you. Because when you get to a certain point, I don't have, I like the flex of Ricky Gervais. I have 12 million followers. I don't have 12 million followers, but I have a few grand, and I don't know who most of them are.
Right.
I don't know who 99% of them are.
Yeah. No, and actually, I've had conversations.
I'm happy to have them. This is, but I'm not. I'm not going to let that weigh. And I used to let it weigh on me a lot, and then I realized,
who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
No, it's fun. I've had these conversations in bigger meetings with company pages and not just my own personal page with 5 followers on it. And I've said the same thing there. I'm like, we don't need to provide a platform to anyone. Like no one they don't deserve a platform on our station page or whatever it is page.
Nope.
That's not free speech. That's not what we think, or some people talk about it being. I'm not saying ban them from all of social media. I'm just saying get rid of them on my page. Yeah. If they're trying to be constructive and add valuable insight, that is different. If they're just being an asshole, I kick them out of anything I have the power to kick them out of.
I'll be honest. I used to block people on the text line all the time. If they got really nasty, I'd block them.
That's awesome.
Permanently.
So that's fantastic.
People try to text into various radio stations and go, why can't I text anymore? Well, you were a jerk at 3 in the morning. And it had to be egregious. It wasn't just, hey, you suck. Like, get in line. Boo-hoo. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, if you can't take a couple of those, you can't do a
But it was like, if it was really, really nasty, I'm like, all right, you know what? No. And then I'd look at their history, because you could read all the texts that they said. And 90% of them were all the same tone to everybody else. It wasn't just me. This person was just miserable. And I go,
so out.
Yeah, we don't need your misery. Blocked.
Yeah,
and I never told the bosses, because I know they were against it. We want everybody to be able to text in, blah, blah, blah. But you shouldn't read the text. But talk about the text, and don't really read the text. The text line is we don't know where we stand. We are wishy-washy. We don't have a serious opinion. We wouldn't tell the truth if it actually bit us in the ass. So that's that's how we deal with we're gonna not let anybody see the text anymore.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that at a specific place.
No more text.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, good talk. That was fun. See, and that's why I thought that was a great comment from Ricky.
No, it was. And it's, but it's not going to change. It's getting worse, and we can lament it all we want. But, we're broadcasting on a social media platform now. Hello everybody. And, we're out in the world on using different things. And I
have a radio show. That's how I'm out in the world.
Hold on.
I don't know if you know.
You know what? I heard a rumor about that.
We're not being that we're not talking about it that much. We're kind of keeping it on the down low.
I would see, but this is where I think you're making a mistake. You got to let people know. You got to
probably should mention it more.
Get the word out there.
I should bring it up more often.
Let's hope that people are reading. If people read now, because you only want literate listeners. Is that correct?
I do.
On your radio
that's true.
show?
Yeah, right.
Because if you can't read, you're probably not going to understand half of what.
Right. You're on the outs.
Yeah, because there's like, what is that? Like a 10-minute segment where you just make animal sounds. But other than that, you're talking about real issues, right? So the 10 minutes, the illiterate might really love it.
The animal sound is the most popular segment on the show. I have to be fair.
Is it really? All right.
It is.
Well, maybe we rethink this literacy thing. Maybe I don't know. I listen, I'm not a programmer.
By the way, I believe that Brian Noonan will be on my radio show tomorrow. I think that I don't know if I've coordinated that.
You never do till the day of.
Okay.
But, yes. I enjoy our time together when I'm on your radio show.
I'm planning to have him on at 3:30. I got to ask him, but I think he's going to be on, or maybe in the 4 o'clock hour, whatever he can do.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay,
3:30,
good.
4 o'clock, whatever. I'm looking at my schedule. My dog calendar that I had at Walmart that's over on the wall. Because even though I use the calendar on my phone, because I'm not a Luddite, there's something about a paper calendar that I still enjoy. And we used to get calendar. Remember when we used to get calendars?
Yes.
From that company?
Yeah. That company.
Man, 2Ks, I think was it 2Ks. Yeah.
And they had our name in little Chicago images.
They were my favorite thing.
I liked them
because they made that little desktop one. And I would sit it over here, and it was great. And I'd write things in it. And then they stopped making them. And so I had to go to Walmart. And I didn't want a big one. I didn't want one of those big giant wall calendars, which we still have down in the kitchen. Because, again, we're old. And it's like your grandma's house. We don't have doilies with butterscotches, but we do have a wall calendar. So I got myself a little calendar that has funny little dog things on it.
Nice. Yeah. There you go. I don't have any physical calendars at all.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, I don't do it. I wouldn't look at it. I wouldn't write things in it. It would be several months would go by without me even flipping a page on it.
How do you keep your appointments? On their phone?
Well, I am also not a Luddite. I am very much embracing the technology of the day. So everything, my watch will have alarms on it for me to do things. Whenever I'm supposed to do something, not only is it in my electronic version of my calendar, but my watch will ding a message being like, you're supposed to do a thing. And that's the only way I remember.
Right.
if I'm not wearing my watch, I'll still miss something, even though it's in my phone. And even though a pop-up will come up on the phone, I still will miss it. I need the watch on and the vibration.
Wow.
I know.
That's
it's
nice.
bad. Or Alexa just tells me. She'll just tell me my stuff in the morning every day.
That's why I don't want that nosy wench in my house. None of that going on.
I love her. She's the best.
Molly has one. And I used it ironically. When we were,
I guess I'm not surprised.
No, I used it to turn on Yacht Rock at her house when we were down moving her out of her apartment. Alexa, turn on Yacht Rock, Sirius XM Yacht Rock. And it would do it. But then I also knew that Siri was listening, or Alexa was listening to me. Siri, whoever it was, one of those two was listening.
They all listen.
Yeah, I don't want them listening to me. I know I have enough things listening to me already in the house. The phone listens to me. The computer listens to me. I'm not under the illusion that I'm off the grid.
Correct.
I'm very much on the grid.
Correct.
But I don't need to give the grid one more handcuff.
See, this is the hot take portion of the show. It was not the Whataburger take. It's this take. You can't stop it, Noonan. You can't. All of us talking about this internet privacy thing that we're trying to, like, Apple having more ability to pop up, like, oh, that you're sharing this with this app. Stop doing it. It's just going to happen.
Oh, I know.
The technology companies have so many ways to collect and gain this data, and even hear us saying things, see us doing things that your prevention measure is failing, Noonan.
Oh,
so
I
just
know
embrace it.
I know that.
Just accept the robot gods and just let them in fully.
No, I won't do that.
Let them in.
I'm not under the impression that I'm stopping any of this. I did, however. I think I talked. I don't remember if it was a day you weren't here. We were talking about that new thing from Amazon, the block or something. Sidewalk. Well, so I tell Molly about this. She hadn't heard about it. She's like, that can't be true. She goes home. She checked her Alexa. Oh, it was on. She turned it off.
Yes.
Now, does that mean Alexa has stopped listening to her? No, of course not.
Wait a minute, hold on. Do you know what Sidewalk is?
Yes, you're sharing. It gives other people in your area the ability to share your internet.
Correct. That is essentially what it does. It creates a giant cloud internet over, like, your block. That's everybody on the block sharing together.
And you know why I hate it?
Why?
Because I pay for my internet, and I don't want any freeloaders.
I pay for mine too.
I know you do. It should make you insane.
No,
some schmo can walk down the street. Now, like, if we had a blackout or something, and only my neighbor's house was affected, and he said, "Listen, I got a call from work. Can I need it? Can I get on your internet?" I go, "Sure, of course, Rodney. Get here. Let me hop on." Sure. But I don't want. The fact that we all use our internet for so many things, with a lot of private data. That's why we secure our internet as much as we can. That's why we sign out of accounts. That's why we, that's communist.
It's not.
It is communist. No, it's 100% communist. And I'm not one of these guys who yell about communism. I'm all about communism.
That's not what that is.
I'm all about it. Yes, it is. It's come on. What is it? It's giving this. Some of us paying for it so everybody can use it.
Most of the people who'd be opting into it would already be paying for it because they own smart devices. There's no one that buys smart devices that then would have that or doesn't. So it doesn't give people access to your Wi-Fi if they don't also own smart Amazon devices. It gives Amazon devices access to your Wi-Fi if it's not. So it's not the same thing as me just broadcasting the password to my Wi-Fi out there into my neighborhood and anyone rolling up and logging in. That's not what it is. It gives Amazon devices the ability to piggyback on my network, meaning why the hell would anyone buy those devices if they didn't already have some kind of internet? I doubt there's anyone in my neighborhood who bought a bunch of smart devices when they found out about Sidewalk and just hoped that everybody else in the neighborhood left that feature on so they had access to their smart devices. So it's not communism, Noonan. It's allowing Alexa to collect more information from all of us and never be disconnected, even if my internet goes down, because my neighbor's internet stays on. It's scary. It's creepy, sure, but it's inevitable. Bezos is going to the moon. The guy's quitting his job and going to the moon, or going to space, at least for now. I assume the moon one day. That's the most surreal thing to say ever. Can you picture that? Either of us trying to do that? Being like, I'm going to quit my job and then I'm going to pay for a trip to space.
If I had his kind of money, yeah. I mean,
but
you
no
and I
one
now, we're both sitting. You're in your basement. I'm upstairs. We don't have outer space money.
We don't. And I assume there'll be the moon. I assume Mars. He'll go with Elon. They'll go together.
Why don't they just start with the moon again? We had good luck with the moon. What do you start? And I hate to say start small, going to the moon, but go to the moon first. That's cool. Or just go to space and come back. Did you see people are starting a petition for him not to come back?
Yes, I was just going to bring that up too. We both wanted to go to the same place. A change.org petition for Bezos to stay in space.
Let me say this about that.
Okay.
I don't understand the blanket hatred of billionaires. I understand the upsetment with billionaires when it comes to paying taxes. I understand being upset with Amazon for the way they allegedly treat their employees. But I don't begrudge a guy making billions of dollars. If a guy or a woman comes up with an idea and they work hard, you don't make $1 billion sitting on your ass. They worked hard to make that money. I don't begrudge them any of that. And you know what? If I had $1 billion, I'd be doing crazy stuff too. I'd be, I'd have a high-speed tunnel train from here to the Gulf Coast.
I don't know. I don't know. If I had, it says something that the two high-profile divorces that have occurred with very wealthy men, where the women got a whole crap ton of their money, that both of those women donated a crap ton of that money immediately to charities. You don't
think that's to get under the skin of their ex-husbands?
Maybe that's what.
Guess what? I'm giving away your money.
I think that's the blanket dislike of people that rise to a certain level of financial success, because I like the businesses. I'm for the business community, of course, but the individual who makes it to the amount of money that Bezos has, he's not capable of spending all the money he has in his bank account. I remember some survey somewhere that said like the top 1% or the 0.1% of people in the wealth brackets can't even spend all the money they have. Even if they tried, they couldn't do it. And that is surreal to think about, that I would ever have enough money that I couldn't spend it. I would have it and I'd be like, it's too much.
They're not working hard enough.
No, it's just physically impossible outside of like launching companies that send you to space, which apparently still doesn't make them completely out of money. But you just couldn't spend all the money, Noonan. That's a wrong society to get to, where some people just have so much I can't get rid of it all.
Well, I'm not saying that they shouldn't put their money to some of their money to better use. But again, it's all relative. Now, I don't, when it comes to paying taxes, they definitely need to be held accountable. They need to pay taxes. They need to pay their fair share of taxes. But that's not punitive, because you and I, if we start making more money, we pay more taxes. Everybody does up the line. So just because you get to a certain point doesn't mean you should get away with that.
No, I'm not even talking about the tax thing. I don't care about the tax thing.
I do, because it goes to your point. If you've got all this money,
no.
You should.
It doesn't, Noonan. It doesn't, because then we're giving all the money to the government, and the government doesn't actually give it all back to us. Paying a lot more tax, having all the companies.
You can't force anybody to give to charity. You can't,
No, we can't force the government to give us our money back, though. So, like, if the top 1% pay a lot more taxes, the government makes a lot more money, but that doesn't mean that money magically gets to poor people.
It's not getting to poor, but it's getting in the hope.
It's not in a better place. It's not in a better.
Is that it's getting into programs. It's getting to fixing roads.
I don't think it's in a
any
better
kind
place.
of stuff. Now, we all know that's, there's a lot of waste. There's a lot of
corruption in the world of politics.
A lot of waste. Yeah. But so.
No, I just think.
But to me, I think most people would argue this point is, hey, fair is fair.
Sure.
And if, yes, we pay our taxes, they need to pay tax too. Their company, small business people pay. You gotta look at.
All that's fine. Dude,
I know.
I don't
then
even.
What? So your point is,
my point
we're
is
mad because mad
might not be. Mad might not be the right word. And no, people having a certain amount of money doesn't make me mad at all. The ridiculously rich people, though, the people who are wealthy beyond regular wealthy. Like I know people who have enough money to do a lot of cool things with their money, but I don't know anyone at Bezos level money.
No,
I don't know anyone. I know.
We're not allowed to know those people.
Well, there's very few people that exist like that on this planet. And when you start to conceive what it would be like to reach that level of rich, not just successful, but that level of wealth, and to not just throw it all at the problems in the world, not just give it all back, because it's so much money. I read that Bezos has more money than most countries have. Like that's
well, then
insanity.
you can be mad at him for being heartless. So then that's caring. But that's not all billionaires.
No, but you asked to start this conversation, why do people hate Bezos? That is why.
Billionaires.
Well, no, but there's a different element there, and I think billion is a lot of money. I don't know how many billionaires exist on this planet, but I imagine there's not a huge amount of them, huh?
There's 4.
No, there's more than 4. But the 4 billionaires? I think that's wrong, buddy.
All right, you can Google it.
All right, I'm Googling it right now.
Are you really? Of course.
Yeah. 2,755 world billionaires.
All right, I was off
a little bit. You were close though. You were very close to your number. I
meant I could name 4.
Okay, there you go. But no, I think that, and maybe it is all billionaires then. Maybe since there's that few of them in the entire world, that I would hate all of them. Yeah, I don't hate millionaires. I think I hate billionaires. Right. I think that's who I hate.
But millionaire, if you have 999 million,
cool with me.
Just about $1 billion.
Good job.
And what if that person doesn't give anything back or help society?
That's fine with me. That guy's only a millionaire.
That's all right. He's only a millionaire. All right.
Yeah, he's got to save it. He's not rich enough.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Total listed net worth of the 2,755 billionaires on this planet is $13.1 trillion.
Wow.
The 2,755 individuals who qualify as billionaire or higher have a totality of 13.1 trillion. Now, what's the gross domestic product of like the world? How much money?
I have no idea. Listen, I worry about getting enough money to go get a cup of coffee.
21 trillion is the United States GDP. 21 trillion.
So 2,000 billionaires have almost the same amount of money as the GDP of the United States.
Yes, they have about 60% of the GDP of the entire United States of America.
Well, let me just quote the great economist Gordon Gekko.
All right.
Who said at one point that greed is good.
See. I think I've seen at least one documentary. I like that I reference things that I don't remember what they are or where you can go get them.
That's great.
This is the best way to do it. Where some people who make a lot of money say that it just becomes competitive. They don't need money anymore. They just want more than anybody else they know who has a lot.
Yeah.
Is they want to have more than that person. And that is horrible. That's a disgusting aspect of money. That if you got to a point where you have so much, like, I don't need it anymore. There's no value for me in my bank account to go use it. I just want to have more. My number needs to be higher than anybody I've met. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How is that not dumb, Noonan?
Listen, first of all, I didn't defend it. Secondly, I watch Billions on Showtime, so I know that that's a thing. Those are fictional characters, but the same principle applies that yes, they're all, they've got big money and they just want more. I don't hate
businesses. Businesses can be worth all kinds of money. They're doing things to put that money back into society. Businesses hire people. Businesses do all kinds of things to replenish the world.
Hold on.
The individual
who is the head of the business? Who is the CEO? Who is the founder? Who is the creator?
Bezos doesn't deserve that much money. He doesn't deserve that much money for that. Even though he built the business and the business is valuable in our society. And I don't know how valuable it is because I don't know how many jobs Amazon creates as opposed to how many they destroy. But Amazon specifically,
they create a lot, but they don't build a lot of bathrooms to go with those jobs.
No, so and they take a lot of mom and pop shops down. Yes, there's a lot of companies in their wake that have definitely lost all their employees. But I would say that Bezos just doesn't deserve the billions of dollars he has, and he can stay in space. That's what I think.
All right, listen.
All right.
That's really good. Hey, hold on. We have a phone call. Bernie Sanders wants to talk to you. Bernie, how are you? I just think Craig is, right on the money.
Craig's got it right this time. I'm very happy about Craig. He's doing a good thing.
1% of the 1% of the 1%.
You know that Bernie Sanders is a millionaire, by the way,
of course,
which I've always found very funny.
Yeah, I do too, because he dresses like he just got off a bus.
Well, and if you listen to anything he says, you'd assume he gave his last penny to the guy he just met. but he did not. He has got it in his bank account. He's doing okay.
They all have money. They're all fine. None of them are worried about, their 2006 Jeep. They're
96
Jeep. Yeah, we're not taking any. There's not going to be a tag day for any of those politicians.
My tailpipe fell off my Jeep today.
When are you going to get rid of that thing?
I don't want to.
I know you.
I don't want to.
Why don't you eyeball a 2020 Passat, year-old Passat?
Oh, I love that car. That was a lovely car.
And you don't have to get it brand spanking new. You can get a nice deal on a pre-owned.
Do we have anybody in the chat that knows things about cars? How bad is it that the tailpipe fell off? Like, can I keep driving the car with a half pipe? It's not a full tailpipe anymore. It's a half pipe. Is that going to kill me? Is the smoke getting into the car?
Well, you're gonna be polluting more. It's not before the muffler, so it's not loud, is it?
No, the volume did not increase this time. That was a previous time.
All right. Oh, the previous time?
Yeah, that did happen. The muffler came off entirely one time.
Oh yeah, that's happened to everybody, right?
Yeah, okay. I think so.
It's happened to me a couple times, throughout my life. All right, so
you may get a ticket for no. It's no noise, Mike. It's
so it's
not
just
a noise problem.
You might get it. You might get a. If they say, is there a lot more smoke coming out?
No, not that I noticed.
All right.
Only if it's into snowboarding.
Well, listen, now that Peoria's Finest have been alerted to your really dangerous, not safe for travel vehicle, and they know that you have a radio show.
They do.
So they'll know where to track this car. See, that's the problem.
True. I talked about this on my radio show, by the way, so I made it very easy on them.
That's probably good. That's probably good. Well, we don't know where your radio bunker is, they don't know where you're broadcasting from, but they do know where they can find you.
They can find me, yeah. Yeah, they could locate me easily.
I don't know. I mean, is it coming into the car? Are you driving around with the
windows?
No,
I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everything else 20-something years.
24 inches of tailpipe, 3 feet of tailpipe, all the way up to the muffler?
I'd say a foot to a foot and a half fell off.
Oh my goodness! How did
this
happen?
I was just driving and I got a death wobble, and the death wobble broke it.
A death wobble.
My Jeep has had a death wobble for a while. You gotta Google it. It's a real thing. Jeeps get it. I think something with the suspension gets funky. So if you go fast, say 55 or so, say you're on a highway of any kind, and you hit like a pebble, any kind of rock that disproportionately affects one side more than the other. A pothole, let's say anything, it'll start shaking violently. The car shakes, and it's actually gotten much worse recently. And I didn't know how bad it was. Betty drove it from Bloomington to Peoria after we got it fixed because it was not working for a little while. And she told me that the death wobble really scared her. And I'm like, oh, it's the same one we've had. It's not that bad. And then
the fact that it's called a death wobble should really make you pay some more attention to this.
Right. And I had it today, and it is much worse. It is much more dramatic. And it broke my tailpipe. So I do think the car has to go out to the finer pastures of
the great car pasture in the sky.
Yeah, but I'm not ready. And actually, Dalton Kemper, who was on this chat earlier, said that maybe we do a live segment where we drive the car into the salvage yard and turn it off on the air one last time to really say goodbye to it.
I would build on that. Take that idea. That's very good. But then stay as I actually put it in the compactor. And you have to watch this.
I can't do that, Noonan. I couldn't.
Let me ask you this, because I don't understand. I like my car very much. I'm happy with my car. I've liked my cars in the past. Yeah. But I'm not emotionally connected to them.
Okay.
And I was intimate in all of them. So but it's a car. It's
the first car I ever bought on my own. I've owned other cars, kind of, because the other cars I owned, my mom gave me one or two, actually, I think, old beat up cars that went through the family kind of things. I had never bought a car on my own until this Jeep. And I don't know, it's had problems. I've had to pay for fixes. It's got 200,000 plus miles on it. It's a 96. I feel like we've both been through a lot. I feel like the Jeep can understand the challenges that have been my life at times, because it seems like a Jeep that also shouldn't still be, but we're both still trucking, Noonan,
Do you believe that this car is possessed like Christine? Is that why that the truck understands you, that you and the truck will take on bullies?
We could
there in Peoria, where if someone like after your radio show, if someone is there, the car will protect you. The Jeep will kill somebody.
It's doing this other thing too recently, and I think you're already at the point where you'd get rid of it, but I'm not yet. But I'm going to tell you I'm going to demonstrate yet again how I'm making a mistake. If you drive short distances too many times, like say 2 or 3 short trips in a row, it won't start. It needs 30 minutes. And I think that there's some sort of sensor that's broken or something. And it's a magic trick. For 30 minutes, it won't turn over at all. And at the 31st minute, it will immediately start again, like it's a car that's works all the time. I've had to push it out of the street a couple times now. Betty had it die. I was in the car with her at a red light, and I had to push it backwards on kind of a busy street into a parking lot of a bank, and we had to wait 30 minutes, and then it went again. But I'm not ready to be done with the car, Noonan. I love this Jeep.
I can't even discuss this because it's so far past rational thought that there's no. It's like arguing with a flat earther. It's like I can't. This makes no sense. You're willing to put your wife's life in jeopardy.
It was not in jeopardy
because of a weird emotional attachment to
it died at a stoplight. That's a stop. It was not a Grandpa knows.
But you've also said that it's beyond where you're going to put any more money into it.
No, I put $700 into it to get it back going when it was in Bloomington. So I threw $700 at the problem 2 months ago.
Listen, this is where having a radio show may come in very handy for you.
Okay.
Other than a salary and a house and all that, and notoriety, all the things that go with it. You have a sales department there at WNBD where you're on the air from 3 to 6. You're the afternoon drive host. Shouldn't you be able to drive around Peoria in something that is not a death trap?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Well, how do people?
Maybe the local Jeep dealer would want to say, Craig, we want you to be our spokesman. We want you to trade. We see
I get
how
where
much
you're going,
you
Noonan.
love Jeeps.
I get where you're going, Noonan. Let me ask this though. Like, how do people drive their cars into the ground? When we say that, does anyone actually do it? Does anyone actually drive the car till it breaks? Till it breaks to the point of not being capable of repair?
To the point where rational people would not repair it anymore. Yes, I've done that with a couple cars where it just gets to the point where you're like,
in that moment where is it ever a scary break? Is something going to come off this car if I just keep driving it where I'm going to get in like a horrific accident?
Well, it could. I mean, it could be the point where one of your tie rods goes and you can't steer the car. It could be
your brakes. Doesn't sound good.
Could be the brakes go and you can't stop the car. Could be you're on the highway.
The emergency brake wouldn't even work in that situation. If all the brakes are gone, I can't emergency it.
I don't know, Fast and Furious. What do you want to do? Tokyo Drift down?
I love that you think that's Fast and Furious. Using the emergency brake to you is the equivalent of Vin Diesel jumping a car into an ocean.
Well, you always see the stunt drivers. They pull the emergency brake and then they do donuts.
That's true.
You can't do that across from the Père Marquette. You just can't. You can't come down that hill. I don't know. I forget what that road is. Grandview Drive comes right down into the city. It's a nice big hill.
It's
coming
lovely.
down. You can't get to that corner where the Père Marquette is and realize, oh no, I don't have any brakes. Pull your emergency brake and then down into the river.
Every time I contemplate not having this car anymore, every option is like I love the idea of having a new car. That's not it. Like every option is bad. I'm not going to get any money in trade-in. I'm not going to sell it to anyone and feel good about it. There's no value for the car. It only has value to me now. Maybe
that's
I love
not true.
Because
that's not true.
What?
You could go 1-877 Cars for Kids. I donated a car. The first car I ever bought. My first brand new car.
Yeah.
I had driven it for 265,000 miles on one manual transmission.
Okay.
It got to a point where I had also replaced the seat twice, the driver's seat. I had gone to junkyards and taken out the seat and put a new seat in. I had done all kinds of stuff. And then it got to the point where I was like, I can't put another dollar into this car.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like you. Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody's. I can't trade it in. I can't sell it, but I can donate it. And then I took the write-off. So somebody, I don't know what they do with them when they take them. I don't know if they turn them into condos. I don't know what they do with the cars that they take when you donate them.
What about?
And they came and they towed it away.
What about this? I've toyed with the idea that maybe someday I'd learn how to fix it. Maybe if I saved it and kept it, and it ever got to the point where like it's not drivable anymore, continuing to save it means I have a project car for the day I start to learn how to fix cars. It's there. It's ready for me when I'm ready to start learning how to do it. And it can't be impossible to learn those things. YouTube videos seem to make a lot of that stuff possible. So I've told Betty this. I'm like, it's rusted out. There's a lot of rust. It's pretty bad. But when we get a different car, which we're going to do at some point, I'm going to remove all the seats except the driver's seat and just kind of like look at the problems and then start to YouTube how to fix them and maybe slowly fix them while still driving the car around. Sometimes it'll just be my car. Nobody else will be able to get in it. I'll take all the chairs out. I won't take passengers. I won't risk other lives. Just me.
Let me say this to you, Tim the Toolman Taylor. If you had a 63 Chevelle, a muscle car, if you had a 57 T-Bird convertible.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Yeah,
I would say, okay. And if you had ever done any sort of car maintenance or car rebuilds before, I would say, okay, maybe this is a good idea.
Let me pitch you though. It is a 96 Jeep Cherokee Country. It's got the country trim on it. It's a beautiful white color. It has 4-wheel drive that can plow through any kind of snow if it's operable. This is a beauty of a vehicle, my friend Noonan. It gets 19 miles city per gallon. I mean, that's an unbeatable amount of miles you get per gallon. Actually, it might be 15 and 19 might be highway, but it's a lovely, lovely 6-cylinder vehicle that you can't find these anywhere anymore.
It was a lovely vehicle. Just so you know, I will, if you die in this car, I will only send flowers. I will not attend the funeral.
Okay.
Because I would sit.
You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel bad about this.
I know the whole time at your funeral, I would just be sitting there screaming, "I told you, I told you, I told you." And then Betty would throw her shoe at me, and she'd throw her other shoe at the casket because she told you to. Because
there'd be a lot of shoes at the casket.
Yes, everybody with any sort of rational thought has told you it's time. This is not a collector's item car.
Yeah, it could be though. You just think about it. Like collector's item, the longer you go, the more likely it is to be a collector's item.
Are you afraid that by giving it away, I'm gonna get the couch out. Are you afraid that by giving it away, you are abandoning a part of your past? Is this a security blanket to you now? And you're afraid with all the big changes in your life now. You had this car when you get married. Now you've had, you changed jobs. You got this new good job at the WMBD where you're on the air from 3 to 6 every day, Monday through Friday.
Radio show. It's mine.
1470WMBD.com. That this is some way to, you're Peter Pan. You don't want to grow up. You've got all these responsibilities, but this car, if you could, if you could keep going, this car, but I gotta worry about the car.
Can I answer your question with what we call in the industry?
I don't know. Can you?
Can I answer your question with what we call in the industry a callback? Can I call back to something earlier in the show?
Let's do it.
There was a point earlier in the show where I told you that I could never kill my own food if I spent any amount of time with it. If a cow and we can't speak the same language, but got to just look at each other for an amount of time, I wouldn't murder it. That is my car and I. I have looked at this car. I've been around this car. I feel like I know the personality of this inanimate object to the degree now that I can't turn it away, Noonan. That's my car. It's not anybody else's. It's not going to be anybody else's. And it's going to be mine until it's not a car. And it still moves places. You turn it on, it still goes. So it's
sometimes.
Well, mostly, yeah, sometimes. So you can't do a lot of small trips.
It's not reliable.
And those.
It's not, you can't count on it.
It still stops. It still stops every time I ask it to stop. It goes most times I ask it to go.
It has a death wobble.
It has that, and it got worse. The death wobble is much more violent than it used to be. But
so when you guys have to go to the grocery store, do you and Betty have to go, how many times have you driven the car today? When was the last time you drove the car?
If it's been a half an hour, we're fine. It doesn't matter how many times. You got to ask, the actual question's got to be, have you gone to 2 or 3 places in the last half an hour and turned it off each time? I actually leave her in the car with it running sometimes if I'm only doing a quick trip somewhere to not turn it off again. So like she'll be like, all right, I'll sit in the car, you go to the Walmart and come back in the next few minutes.
Let me say this so I don't doesn't seem like I come off as a guy. No, as a guy who will wastefully throw things away before they're done. I use things until they are no longer serviceable.
Correct.
I am not a guy who throws money around willy-nilly. But I've had enough cars in the past where they were troublesome. Mm-hmm. And the peace of mind,
that's
the peace
called
of mind for safety it's worth it. And yes, when I've gotten rid, I loved my Buick Roadmaster station wagon.
Would you want another one? If you could get another one now, why not?
Because that was a great car for them. But now I like, I've upgraded. When I got rid of that, we had, I forget whatever we had, but then no, I went from that to a Chevy Trailblazer, and I drove that Trailblazer until my mechanic was like, it's not worth putting any more money in. And then I got a new car.
I will say this about myself and my loyalty, or whatever you want to call it, that it is that I get fairly connected to the things that I have. I told Betty when we made it through the purchase of this house, it was a bad sign for good old Craig Collins, because I might never get another one. I might stay in this house now forever. It's my house. I picked it. I purchased it. I just like my car. I might have to be thrown out of this home at some point. No matter what happens to me, I think I've got to stay in the house now too.
I've said that about every house I bought.
Really?
Yep.
And it's never happened.
Never happened.
All right.
Because life changes.
Yeah.
And I've missed, at first it's like, oh, I'm sad I'm leaving. And then I get to the new house and I'm like, hey, I'm home. This is great. And then, the other ones go. Like my Trailblazer. I loved it. I wasn't going to put any more money in it. It was a great car. I loved it.
Yeah.
Then I got my car, and now my car is approaching 8 years. My car is 8 years old, so it's not like I'm driving. But I really like my car. Only 123.
Not bad.
No, not bad. Because there was a lot of time when I wasn't going on the road anymore. My other cars, I was putting on 2,000 miles a week.
Yeah.
So it was getting crazy. But yeah, I mean, I get being attached to something, but I also understand rationally when you have to go, okay, it's time to move on. My safety and my wife's safety are worth more than whatever relationship I have with this Jeep.
I wouldn't put it that way. No one's told me it's unsafe to drive. If somebody actually says that to me, if a mechanic says, I looked at the frame and the frame looks like it's about to fall apart. If someone said something like that to me, then it goes into my garage and I fix it. Then I learn how to weld, I think. But
have you ever done anything on a car other than put gas in it?
I changed the lights on my car via the YouTube.
Okay. That's a good start.
Is that a good? I don't feel like that's that hard. No, it's
not a good start at all.
Yeah, I detached the light. I put in the new light and then I put it back. I've changed the oil before on my car.
Okay.
Is that's something? That's the thing.
Sure, that's something. I've never done that. I have no desire.
You drain it. You get a little bucket. You catch it all. You get rid of it, and then you get some more.
No, I have $35. I go to Oil Express with Jiffy Lube.
I'm close. Then I'm better than you. I have more of a chance. I just need to learn how to put.
You're better than me.
Yeah, I need to put more floorboards and a new frame into my vehicle, and then I'll be fine.
Sure. Once you learn to pull an engine, rebuild it. Put it in
the amount of tools
system, weld the frame.
It's not even just learning the amount of tools, special tools that I need to do these things. You
gotta get a hoist to pull that engine out.
I know.
And then you'd pull the engine out, and the whole car would fold in like a cardboard toy.
It just means I've got more opportunities to fix it.
Listen, all right.
We talk about my car a lot. I can't help it.
No, it's I long for the day when you pull up in a nice, And again, when I say new, it's new to you.
Right.
I've only bought, let's see, this car that I have now, I bought new. I think we bought Debbie bought her car new, but most of the cars have been, pre-owned.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, buying new. I listened to Dave Ramsey, who's on after me. I'm on from 3 to 6. He's on from 6 to 9, I believe.
Maybe is that on the radio?
Yeah, Dave Ramsey. Yeah, it's on the radio show that I host. Well, after me, he hosts one too. And he says never buy a new car, never ever. By the way, Paul, yes, I did change the filter along with the oil. I did do both.
So you had the cool ring wrench.
Yes,
those are fun.
I have a cool ring wrench.
That's what I don't have one of those. Take an oil filter out.
There you go.
Because I got $35 burning a hole in my pocket. Right. And I have an $8 coupon downstairs. I'm saving big money. I'm going to go to Jiffy Lube.
I'm one step away from being a licensed mechanic. That's, I think, where I'm at. I think that's how
that
works.
The little blue gear to put on your shirt.
I think that's what the test is. They're like, can you change a light? And I'm like, I can. Can you change an oil? I can. You're basically a mechanic.
What do you call this part of the engine? The silver part?
My car doesn't have all the parts of the engine, so I might not have it.
How many cylinders you got? I don't know,
6.
10, 15, whatever you need.
I have a 6 inline.
Oh, an inline 6.
Yeah, I do. I knew that answer.
Yeah,
only because every mechanic I've taken the car to is like, man, I love these inline 6s. I'm like, what is that? And then I Googled it. I'm like, oh, that's the engine. Okay, cool. Yeah, me too.
Listen, I pray for your safety every night.
For a myriad of reasons. It's not just my car.
Sure. It's not just the car, but the car's top 3.
It is.
That's,
right.
There's no other reason to beat that. Listen, you're up way past summer hours.
I am. I know there was no Cody to do the lifting with you.
I anticipated we'd just do summer hours, but I'm glad we got into the car thing. I know, as I said, I know it's going to take some sort of intervention. We're going to have to get, Betty will have to call some of your family members, your friends, 3 mechanics, and we're all going to get you in a room. And then I think the best thing to do is for you to have a Viking funeral for this car.
Light it on fire?
Light it on fire.
Okay.
There's got to be somewhere in the Peoria area that there's a huge parking lot.
I think that ups the ante of Dalton's idea to just turn it off, to be done with it. If we lit it on fire on the air to end the life of the car, that would be an interesting way to finish that out.
I would love the video because you would have to do one of those bad movie hack jobs where you're slowly walking away and the car explodes behind you and there's music just swelling up and there's one tear running down your eye and you're still hold up and you've still got the Jeep key ring.
I honestly don't think it would be just one tear. I think if we did light it on fire in front of me, there'd be several tears to be shed for the vehicle.
Because at one point you'd realize that you left your wallet in the glove box.
Right, yeah.
What happened?
No! I don't know. I think someone's going to have to steal it. I think it's going to have to get in a horrific accident or someone's going to have to steal it. I don't think I'm going to give it up. I think I'm going to eventually park it to the side of my house, like someone said earlier in the chat, and just assume I'm fixing it at some point.
You're going to let things...
I don't know. I don't know. I've never been that guy before, but I feel like that guy didn't know he was that guy until he was that guy. You know what I mean?
Telling you you're going to be that guy. Everybody's telling you you're going to be that guy.
But I'm not that guy yet. I haven't been. I don't know.
We're warning you against being that guy. Okay. This is helpful for warning.
It is. Oh, you know what? Actually,
I like this. I like Tom's idea.
Me too.
Isn't there the track right across from the Jukebox Comedy Club out there on Farmington Road? Look at me sounded so local like I'm in Peoria.
You really know a lot of Peoria things.
On WMBD.
I think it's still there. I'm not sure. But I would actually really enjoy that, to do a demolition version. I think my car, one hit, would implode.
But that would be... Yeah, I'm sure there's demolition derby drivers who would drive it for you. You can put, you get the station logo all over the sides of it.
Yeah.
You plaster things on, you sell some sponsorships.
And then light it on fire at the end of that. Then at the end of the derby.
Well, at the end of the derby, it's done.
Right.
It's all over at the end of the derby.
Yeah.
So then this is the way it goes out fighting. Would that be a good way for your car to go out fighting?
I think I would do that. I think that if we really could, I would need like a mechanic human to make it have a fighting chance. I would not kill it. I would not send it to its death if it were a suicide mission. I would need to know. Yeah, I would need to know that it had a fighting chance in the derby, that it was corrected enough of the problems in it that it would, survive hits from other cars. But if it stood a fighting chance, I think I'd let it die in a derby.
Well, it's like Floyd Mayweather. It's old, so it's going to be slow. It's not going to get as many punches in.
Right. But it needs to play defensively.
It might make it a couple laps.
Yeah. No.
As long as you didn't drive it too many places to get it there. because then it would have to wait. The Derby would be going for a half hour. You go, hang on.
Yeah, I got to give me 30 minutes. Everybody wait.
Boom, smash.
No. Yeah. I'm saying it'd have to have a fighting chance. I would not send it to its death. I would not let it go suicide mission.
Okay. Well, listen, that's a step in the right direction.
All right.
That's a step in the right direction. I could see the sunlight on the horizon. With you. That's enough to, because I'm guessing that track is still there.
Yeah. This is the first thing you've ever talked me into, by the way. I have other irrational takes that we've discussed on this show. I've never come close to backing off of them.
Yeah. Let me say, I don't feel for 1 second that I've talked you into getting rid of this car. I'm taking a suggestion from one of the listeners.
Yes.
And building on it. And I think now, I don't know if you driving it is the best idea.
Oh, it would be me. It couldn't. It had to be me. It would have to be me,
really?
Noonan. It couldn't be anybody else. I will say this to Tom's second point. If it miraculously survived, I would keep that car forever. I would repair everything. If it won a Derby, that car would not be allowed to die. It would have to live.
I got to give you that one. If for some reason it won the
Demolition if it won the Derby, it's
then
my
that car is possessed.
Yeah.
Then
I drive it home damaged and just keep driving it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And every day you go out and you hit it with a sledgehammer just so it remembers how it got to be there.
Right.
How you feeling? You know what I need. I do know what you need.
Then everyone would appreciate what I love about it, the fact that I feel like it's been through some things and it's still going. If it could survive a Derby, it would be lovable to all.
I was going to use a euthanasia reference.
Oh,
but I'm not going to.
Don't do that. No, please.
I'm not going.
It's like the Chicago Cubs of vehicles, though, if it does that, right? I mean, until they won that World Series. No, they were lovable losers. It's not good. The team's not good, but they're lovable because they're trying. That's my car. It's out there. It's doing stuff. It's just not ready to, completely give up.
Who uses the term lovable losers?
Who's that?
Losers. That's who uses the term lovable losers. Oh, isn't it great they lose all the time? No. Why are you embracing failure? Oh, they're lovable. No, they're not. They're they're losers.
This year, the Yankees, and I will talk to Paul, who's a Yankee fan, by the way. This year, the Yankees have been kind of lovable losers. I still love that baseball team. They're not very good right now, but I love them.
You can back a team that's going through a hard time, but once you label yourself lovable losers, that's it. You've given up.
Okay.
I think to be a fan, you have to stay with a team when they're struggling.
Correct.
But once you embrace that struggle and that loserdom, then you've given up.
We figured it out. My affection for the things that I own is the same as my fandom for sports teams. I stay with them when they struggle, Noonan. I do not give up on my cars or any of the things I own.
But after 26 years, you would trade that second baseman because he couldn't walk and he couldn't see where first base was to throw the ball.
I don't know. If he wants to keep playing.
0 for 706, just because he can walk out on the field, that doesn't mean you can still play. Just because that car will start doesn't mean it still should be driven.
I've said before I'd be a terrible sports franchise owner, and I don't know if a lot of people would be willing to admit that I would, because I would not want to make any amount of money. I would spend it all on the team. Like I'd be the highest budget guy, every penny I could spend, just to put the best product out there because you want the team. I'd be George Steinbrenner like he was with the Yankees. It doesn't matter. I don't care about the business aspect of it.
George Steinbrenner.
No, he was not. But if you own a franchise, a sports franchise, that's not like any other business. People can say that you run it like a business and you treat it that way. It's not. It's a sports franchise. You have athletes trying to win a championship that doesn't really mean anything. I would throw everything I had at those things. I would also say this, though, Noonan, I've discovered a new reason I'd be a terrible owner. I would let Derek Jeter still play shortstop for me today. If Derek still wanted to play shortstop, I'd let him put on his number 2 jersey, run on out to short, and I'd let him play short. Because he's Derek Jeter. And Mo would still pitch the 9th inning for me right now, currently. I don't care if Rivera can't get his cutter to work anymore. He's Mariano Rivera. He's allowed. And Jordan, if I owned a basketball team, would still be my starting point guard or my starting shooting guard. I don't care. That'd be amazing.
And why not? Drive them in the team bus, a 2000 or 1996 Jeep Cherokee Country.
Just think about the lovable loserness of that, the loyalty to those players. Be like, these guys were famous at one point. They're my guy.
they are your guys, and you paid them handsomely, and they decided to retire because they realized they couldn't. Those guys don't ever want to be the guy who you talked about. People need more money. They don't ever want to be the guy who looks weak or who looks that he's not able to do what he's done, right? And his skills have diminished. They don't want that. They don't want you keeping him around just because, you know.
I think Father Time eventually embarrasses professional athletes enough that they do give up on their own, because I think it is embarrassing to have.
But so you're going to keep doing it?
I would.
Money to embarrass themselves?
I'm letting my car decide when it's done with me, not the other way around. I would let Derek Jeter decide when he's retiring from my franchise.
The fact that you're equating your car with a human being is tells me that we have reached the end of this. Right. Before we go, I do want to show you something. Mm-hmm. You remember when I talked about arguing with the house
with the face? Yes.
Right. And you demanded to see. Now I had it ready last week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you haven't even seen it?
It's not a face.
You haven't even seen it.
All right.
I showed it to Cody.
Okay.
He agrees that it looks like a face.
And is the lamp in it or not in it? Oh, you're giving me a big problem.
I don't know what's going on there. Hold on.
I'm having a seizure. I would rather not have a seizure.
I don't know why that.
Because it's not a face. Because you're trying to cheat.
It is a face.
It's not a face. Okay,
there it is. Look, there are the eyeballs. There's the nose. There's the mouth. There's the ear. It's a blockhead. It's a blockhead face.
Where is the nose?
This in the middle. The square in the middle where the air conditioner is supposed to be.
That's the nose?
Yeah, 2 eyes. The nose and a little circle mouth where the lamp is there now, but there was just a hole there.
The lamp's the mouth?
It was a hole when I was arguing with it. The lamp wasn't on there.
That's not a face, Noonan. I see the eyeballs and the white could be technically a mouth, but it's not a nose.
And then a little tiny mouth.
But then that's just like that's not a face though. That's like an emoji. It's barely.
It's like a cartoon, an anime face, or an emoji face.
I can't see it the way you see it.
It looked like Mount Rushmore. I didn't say they had carved granite across the alley. I said it looked kind of like a face. And so I was arguing with it.
It's not enough of a face. And by the way, the fact that you're incorporating the lamp at all, the lamp makes no sense as part of the face. If there's a face in this photo, it's only the windows and the air conditioner. Nothing else is part of the face.
Eyes, nose, mouth.
There's no other. No, that's not a nose. If that was a hole below it, that also wouldn't look like the face you're talking about.
It looks like an anime. It looks like a Lego face, like something out of a Lego movie.
The satellite dishes are technically ears on the side, kind of.
This is an ear. This long thing.
What long thing?
This other window over here on the side.
That's not an ear. What are you talking about?
Big ears on the side.
You're talking me out of the face when I'm seeing my own version of the face.
All right. Well, you can see if those are your ears. They're very low to be ears.
I know. It's cubism.
It's cubism.
No, it's not.
Man. Free your mind, and the rest will follow.
Now, see.
Well,
no,
all right,
you got to get high again.
I still see it when I'm not high.
Okay.
But when I was high.
That's not a face.
Darker, it is
That's not a face. No, it's not.
Well, listen. Why don't you get in your 90-year-old car?
Okay. And, I can't. I would love it.
Somewhere to look at a face.
If it makes it 90 years,
Sandy says the satellite dish is an earring. I like that.
You said it's not even.
That's it, Tom. It looks like Minecraft.
What?
It looks like something out of Minecraft. That face. Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't look like this. No, it doesn't. It's not a face. No. It's not a face. And especially the way you're building.
You're just mad now because I told you to get rid of your car. You're lashing out.
My car has a face. It looks more like a face.
Your car doesn't have a face. It has broken down grill up front. It's like
cars have face. They have the lights in front. Those are eyeballs. They got the grills, which is a mouth.
I never realized that they designed them to have that they have like looks. Like, and it wasn't until Dodge came out with all those like Chargers and stuff, and some of the rest. And I was like, "Oh man, that does." And now I look at my car and I go, "It does look like a face back there with a light."
Yes, cars have faces. That house does not. And Cindy agrees apparently.
Listen. None of you. Carol agrees with the earring thing. See, Craig, it's not the ear, it's the earring. Listen, one day you'll sit out there, Some dubage may or may not be passed. And you go, yeah, I could see where you would want to argue with that house for looking at you.
I don't even think it's looking at you. From the position you took the photo, it's definitely not looking. If it is a face, it's also not making eye contact with you.
Oh, it was making eye contact.
It's not. It's looking straight ahead.
Excuse me. That's not, right. It's directly across the alley.
No, but from the position you took the photo, you're not directly across. You're off to the side.
It gave me the side eye. Yeah, look at Stuart. If I was high, it would look like a face. Damn right.
Stuart, if we were high, most things look like things that they don't look like. You can see faces in a lot of things that don't have faces.
Well, listen. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't know what we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about a lot.
I think we talked about very few topics, actually.
Oh, we talked about them for a long time.
We did that.
Listen, we don't have to hit a number. It's not it's not like,
I had so many more.
You guys only talked about, well, I know, but it's, time is the tyrant.
All right.
Save them for next week.
I will.
All right. Listen, you could send me the Hitler. Maybe we could debate them on the phone. We could text. We could text about them.
We'll release the text chain. We'll put that on our social media pages of all the other ideas I had.
I don't know if that's a good idea for any of us. Well, give me the list. Give me a list of topics.
What, right now?
Just give me a couple other topics.
Well, there's the guy who was
into them.
There was the guy that was going to propose to somebody at a haunted site, and he said he had the ring stolen by a ghost, and I don't believe this man. This man went viral on social media. He said he put his ring in his pocket. He went to this famously haunted area to propose to his girlfriend, and then the ring went missing, and a ghost probably stole it.
Sure it did.
That's a lie. Yeah,
of course it's a lie.
Now here, I'll add another aspect to the story that I always don't tell at the beginning of that one. Someone else found the ring, took a photo of it, and said, we found it. And so it seems, but I have a theory that it's still a lie, Noonan, but we ran out of time. We can't talk about it.
Of course it's a lie. He dropped it, or it fell out of his pocket.
Oh, gotcha. So you think he did bring it? Because I don't think he brought it. I don't think that's his ring.
Well, did they find it on the ground, these people?
They found it on the ground in the area he said he had the ring in, and they described it as a ring similar to the one that he said he had. Like the box and everything was similar. I still don't think it's his ring.
Oh, if somebody found it, I would give more of a benefit of doubt to that. Before you said that part, I didn't think he had brought it at all.
I know. I am aware.
There's absolutely no way.
Someone did find it. I still don't think it's his.
Story.
I know. I did it on purpose.
Who's going to be out in that specific area and just leave a ring in a box on the ground?
The dad of the girl. I think he heard about the viral story. He wants his daughter to marry the guy or the mom, somebody relay, or maybe the girl herself. Maybe the super genius is the woman who was getting pranked, not engaged, and she went and put the box out there so someone could find it and force her boyfriend into it's a game, Noonan. It's all a game. My tinfoil hat goes on.
That's way too expensive a game to play.
It's not his ring, but he can't back down now because he went viral on the internet. It's easy to put that there after he says it was there. It's easy to do it, Noonan. And now they're engaged. Somebody got what they wanted.
You're giving them a lot of mental acuity that I'm not ready to prescribe to them. I don't believe that they, just from the brief telling of this story, I don't believe that they have the thought processes to carry out this elaborate prank.
Do you remember what were they called? Like the monoliths or the things that were popping up certain places?
The big giant
obelisk. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Monolith. Thank you. That's the word. They were just like popping up certain areas and you'd go viral. You're like, oh, we found one here. I think that this is a version of that story that he's like, I had a ring, it got stolen. And so someone else went and put it there. And they're like, this is the ring you described. I think it's all a sham, Noonan.
Oh, I'm sure it's a sham, but I think he,
I love that we actually talked about this topic.
I think that he wanted to pull this prank and just dropped it.
Okay. No, I think that he didn't want to get engaged and he claimed a very crazy story on the internet and someone made it into a true story and now he's engaged.
Well, listen, God bless him. I hope they get married there and I hope a poltergeist, violates
he's going to get abducted the day of his wedding. I guarantee it.
So. And there's got to be probing, lots and lots of probing. We watched The Conjuring last night. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Oh, wait. Are you watching Loki?
Yes.
It's good. Loki is good.
I like it, very good. Oh, Owen Wilson, come on.
Right.
He deserves to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
He should be in most things. We should find a role for Owen Wilson in most things.
I'm still, after all these years, disturbed by his nose. I don't know what's going on with it. I like Owen Wilson. This is not an indictment on his acting or my enjoyment of his acting.
Totally.
I'm distracted by it because I don't know what's going on with it.
It's
I
unique.
can't tell if it was broken.
I think so.
But at some point, I don't know what happened to it. So that bothers me. But as Mobius in Loki, I think he's doing a great job. And I
Mobius
like
M. Mobius.
Mobius M. Mobius, is that the full name?
That's his name, yeah.
Is it
Mobius,
his name?
Mobius M. Mobius, yeah.
I just knew Agent Mobius. Normally, I don't like time travel stuff because, quite frankly, it confuses me. But I'm getting into the sacred timeline and the timekeepers and all this. But like even Back to the Future, time travel. I don't get it. But I'm willing to go along with this because so far the first 2 episodes have been fantastic.
Second one, fantastic. I don't want to ruin it, but it's out there. It's on the internet, but it's very intriguing, setting up for the rest of the series.
That's why I made sure we watched it last Wednesday because I didn't want to see any spoilers.
Yeah.
So next is Hawkeye. Hawkeye is the next show that's coming out. I know. Forward to that.
I know.
So yes, of course. Oh yeah, I'm down.
I have not hit the threshold of superhero things. I am not over whatever limit most people are going to eventually have for these sort of things. I am very excited, as I've said before, to see Black Widow in the theater. I'm going to go to the theater. I'm going to get a popcorn, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that movie.
I'll probably watch it in my house, and I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that movie. Because now I got the sound bar with the big subwoofer. I got sound pumping, man. Oh, nice. Man, I got my own bathroom. I get a microwave where I can whip up some popcorn. No, it's not the same.
It's not.
I understand completely. But no, I have not hit the when it comes to Marvel, I'm all in till the day I die. Yeah. Because I grew up reading them and never dreaming that I would be able to see them on the big screen.
Yes.
And now I can, and I don't care if you think I'm a 12-year-old boy. No. Who cares? And then Molly got into it and Debbie got into it. Yep. So
I haven't converted Betty yet.
Yeah. Oh no?
No. She
Debbie,
goes.
Debbie had no interest. But then it goes back this far. On Mother's Day, when Iron Man opened, she was like, okay, we can go see Iron Man. And she walked out of Iron Man and she was like, that was fantastic.
Wow.
And she was in.
Yeah, no. Still haven't converted Betty. I think she liked one of the X-Men movies.
Okay.
But that's it. And the X-Men isn't the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I was going to say I've seen them all, and they were fine. I didn't know much about the X-Men.
Oh, they're my jam. Just like
really?
Yeah, just like your favorite is Captain America. My favorite, other than maybe Spider-Man, is the X-Men and all of I'm a fan. Big fan.
I learned about it, and I like I said, I enjoy it all, but I didn't read the comic books going up. One of these days. And it probably won't be while I'm alive, Craig. I'm going to say this now.
You want to ride in my Jeep?
No, listen, I don't want to die that fast.
Okay.
One day, someone will make a Fantastic Four movie.
Well, the Marvel Cinematic, where they're doing it.
I hope
so. No.
I know they are, but I don't hold out much hope because...
What are you talking about? Kevin Feige is going to make one, and it's going to be great, and then they're going to put the X-Men in these things, and it's also going to be great.
No, I hope so. My fingers are crossed. Because it was Captain America, Spider-Man, and the Fantastic Four. Those were the ones.
Yes.
And
good night, Paul. They're gonna be great.
I'm hopeful.
No, I refuse to have them be bad. I will not accept it. I will make them make new ones. They're gonna be awesome.
Well, yeah, they have to be better than the last two.
Correct.
They have to be.
Yeah.
Just please.
It's good talk.
Yeah. Well, because all I can think of is they made the Hulk in the Avengers movies and finally look like the Hulk. And I don't care if they had to CGI. That's what they need to do with the Thing. The Thing needs to be Hulk size almost. You know? Doesn't need to be Michael Chiklis in a rubber suit. That's not Ben. That's fine. That's not fine. The Thing. I need the Thing.
I'm okay with that.
I need clobbering time, man. It's got to be ready to go.
Cool.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know.
It'll happen. It's going to be amazing.
I hope so.
It's going to be.
You know, they pick up the pace. I'm not a young man.
When does it come out? The Fantastic Four movie's already scheduled.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's actually coming out. Like it's a real movie. They haven't cast it or anything yet, but they've announced it. Maybe it doesn't have a specific day yet, but it's coming out in the next few years, Noonan. They'll start to go into production. They'll cast the people within the next year, probably.
Well, all I'm saying, Craig, is, time is limited.
You're going to make it, Noonan, and it's going to be amazing.
But, if I'm going to be in an assisted living with somebody changing my bag and I'm trying to watch the Fantastic Four at 98, that seems weird.
Doesn't matter. I'll do it. I'll do it in my 96 Jeep Cherokee at that point.
Well, you're going to be buried in that thing.
I hope so.
Like that, who was there was a gangster in Chicago who was buried in his Cadillac.
That sounds amazing. I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh, it is a thing. Somebody mentioned it in a song. I can't. Now I want to say Fluky, but I don't think that's
Willie Morris Fluky Stokes. That is the guy's
Fluky.
name.
All right.
It
so
is.
I was right.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't want to say
he's a reputed
Fluky
Chicago mobster. The elder Stokes had his son buried in a Cadillac style coffin.
Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we do. Oh man.
Neither of us do that.
Who knew that Fluky Stokes was going to make an appearance after Ben Grimm? We go from Loki to Ben Grimm to Fluky Stokes.
Watch Loki.
That's as good a place as any to say we're done. We don't top that. We can't finish that off. Don't forget to thank you for listening and watching. As always, don't forget to go on any of your podcast platforms and download, smash the like button, share it, whatever you do with your podcasts. And follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Listen to Craig every day, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 on WMBD.
That's a radio show.
That is a radio show, and it's right there. There's all the information, 1470WMBD.com. You can listen anywhere in the world.
I believe Brian Noonan will be on at 3:30 tomorrow, I think.
3:30 tomorrow. You can also hear me Thursday night on WTMJ in Milwaukee. 6 to 8 p.m. at WTMJ.com. Listen to Cody every day on the Curiosity Daily podcast, curiositydaily.com. I think that's the plugs. And if you're a Jeep dealer who wants to put Craig's Jeep in a demolition derby, by all means, you can get a hold of us on Facebook or Twitter or call the station directly. And I'm sure the hotline will, switchboard will put you through.
I'm sure. I would take that call. Yeah. Let's do it.
To somehow talk to Greg. All right. Have a great week. We will talk to you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.